Welcome, agents, to strain 63-69J of the Zero Point Report, a broadcast all about the news surrounding the Secret World IP. Today is Thursday, May 12th, 2022, and I always get tongue-tied. And I am Ocho, one of the hosts for this evening. With me tonight, we have Waffle, Two-Ton Waffle.
Morning. That's
Mr. Waffle was your father. No, I don't know.
Mr. Waffle's my father. You can call me Two-Ton.
Right. Don't call me Mr. Waffle. Mr. Waffle's my father. And we have Jimmy the Rabbit.
Oh no. It seemed like the thing to say.
It seems fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah, good times. Good times. How are you gentlemen doing this fine evening?
It's fine Thursday.
It's fine.
Good.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's Friday Eve.
Okay. Wait, you said how? Sorry. Not what. Never mind. Cut that.
When are you guys doing this Friday? This Thursday evening? Or
Wait,
something?
did you say Friday?
I don't know. What is time, really?
Construct.
It's a contract. Yeah.
It's all relative.
It's an illusion.
You take enough courses because I did major in physics, and you take enough courses of like theoretical physics, and no, time is fucking relative. It's all relative. Outside of our solar system, it goes at a completely different rates at whatever. You look up in the sky, and every star that you see, that light took millions of years to get to us, and so what we see is like the shadow of stars that have been. And
But Mikey, what is years?
But what is a year?
So you can't even really say it's millions of years.
It's millions of years as far as what we know a year is. Yeah,
It's years on
it could be light years.
Terran years.
Which a light year is distance.
You sure it's not
Some
a
of those stars are
parsec?
dead by the time their light reaches us. Absolutely, if not even some. Like 80 to 90% of them are dead by the time their light reaches us. Yeah, like it's a staggeringly high number.
Yeah, but sometimes there's some people out there that does the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yeah,
True.
that's what I said. Parsec. Come on now.
Again,
Wait, isn't the problem with that parsec is a measure of?
parsec is a measure of
But I still say that could be accurate because you took some wild shortcuts.
yes,
Yeah.
and that's how it was in
Everyone
the.
else does the Kessel Run in 20 parsecs, and he did a fucking Dukes of Hazzard jump over something.
He did.
Gets
Isn't
the
that the
points.
movie
Solo.
Solo? Yeah, obviously. I was like, Hope? No, not Hope.
No, Rogue One.
There is no hope in that movie.
No hope, but no, yeah, it's a movie Solo. It was like, oh yeah, no, he took all kinds of shortcuts around like really dangerous things that would be whatever. So he did it in 12 parsecs, yeah, as a measure of distance, not a measure of time, which was originally just a flub. It was, it was 1000% a flub. But welcome everyone to whoever is joining us tonight as we talk about all the things and we hang out and we be our crazy ass selves. Refim, how are you two doing? Most stars die outside of our visible light bubble. And that's why one of the most fascinating things is right. The further you look, that's why the absolute furthest you look at any point, all surrounding us in a giant bubble is the fire of creation. In the fire that is still the light from the Big Bang is still reaching us.
But then if you look at that bubble, and the furthest reaching stars that you can see are moving faster away from us, which they will eventually disappear. And then soon our sky will be filled with black nothingness.
Yeah, eventually.
Until our sun will completely become devoid of any light.
The far future. It's because
next Tuesday.
Because everything is moving further and further apart, that eventually all light will eventually die off.
Not terrible.
That's a happy thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you should watch Kurtzagat.
I am doing not terribly. Good.
It always comforts me to know that everything is going to end eventually.
I would say, but our star will, by that point, our star will turn into a red giant. The red giant will have already encompassed the Earth, and we're fine.
Yeah, by the time everyone's going to be wearing like 1500 SPF sunscreen.
It'll be that Twilight Zone episode.
Unless
where
quintessence of dark matter is real and the big crunch takes over. Is that when the Langoliers come out and eat everything?
Quintessence of dark matter. They theorize that dark matter is what is actually pushing everything apart, because you take the mass of everything in the universe and it shouldn't be pushing itself apart at that high of a rate. That's why dark matter is basically the constant, basically part of the universal constant as to what it keeps pushing it further apart. It's basically right, this gigantic mass that we just don't see. And we have no real way of seeing it, and that's why dark matter is. But we know it exists. We just have no idea what the hell it is. Which is why it's called dark matter.
It's poop.
But the question is, does it drop good loot?
It is the question, right? Will it give me that? Will it give me the Vorpal sword?
No, it's poop. Isn't it? Isn't it is that what it is? Like in Futurama, the little dude, their fuel is like dark matter fuel, and he poops it.
Yeah, he poops out dark matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nibbler. Yeah. He literally poops out dark matter.
Dark matter.
As fuel for the ship.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Dark matter is just poop.
I really need to watch that show again because I forget like 90% of it.
They had so many like super intelligent like people with degrees they weren't doing anything with working on that show.
Oh no, yeah, Futurama is a great show. Yeah.
Like
because it didn't take itself seriously, but it took itself seriously enough. Whereas
the comedy is funny, but like the science and physics and math jokes are crazy.
I agree that the dog episode that was hard.
Yeah, they've done more than a couple actually tug your heartstring ones, but
want to go on a date with Leela, but with a cave. Yeah. Good news, everyone.
But yeah, there's the episode where they swap bodies. You can only swap with a person once, but they eventually get everyone back into their own bodies.
What do you got?
And there's like a math formula for like how many beings you would need for you to only swap once, but still be able to get everyone swapped both away and back into their original body when you can only swap with another person one time.
Yeah, that was a whole equation that they probably had to come up, or they came up with.
And they had that number of characters like swap, and so if you do the thing for it, it actually does logically work out. But it's fucking so dumb. Who does that?
They probably had a whiteboard like the characters. Okay, red string between Leela, Fry to Amy to.
Yeah, so there was a bunch there. I thought that was super cool. It was like the minimum. What was the minimum number you need for everyone to swap and be able to swap back with only swapping them once?
Okay. Yeah, no, that's something you figure out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of, at least, I don't know how much calculus you get in there, but it's something.
It's crazy. They did some shit. Plus, I know there's different camps. I'm on the fan side, but it's a similar thing with the Big Bang Theory, where they would, and a lot of times in the background, they'd put so much work into shit that's in the background, like just equations on a blackboard. They're the same thing in Big Bang Theory and Futurama, where there'd just be like hidden gems for physicists.
It's no 3x plus 1, no. But they put stuff up there. Yeah, I've recognized, not as high as others, but I've recognized like one or two things. Like, oh, that's the a popular equations in thermodynamics or something like that. I could point out a couple of things, but
I just go, ooh, that looks like a formula.
Yeah, that's a formula.
That's the extent of my thing there.
Well, that looked like some big math equation stuff going on there.
But I don't know. The Big Bang Theory was never a favorite of mine, only because they would throw that sort of stuff in, but then the jokes themselves would be like, it was, I don't know. It's.
So I'll tell you, I love that show.
Oh yeah.
And there literally is it's very divided. You're either really the show, or you fucking shit on that show hardcore. But it's got a special place because when we had our first child and we got home and we basically spent the next week in bed, like nonstop. Like you're basically just getting up to get stuff either for the mom or the baby. Yeah, but like y'all are basically living in that room because the baby's like awake and asleep all the time. So you're just constantly like passing out when you can for 20 minutes and then barely ever leaving the room. And I think TBS at the time, it was just had it on like syndication, just like all day. It'd just be on. So it was the unifying thing. We were just like trying to exist. Big Bang Theory was on. It was light. It was very light and funny, and you could just pass out to
right.
it.
Not heavy.
Wake up to it.
Yeah.
And it literally is like part of that, probably even first like month solid of having the first child. Like it's part of that history. So it's got a special place.
Okay.
And also, I really don't know, some people have like weirdly significant problems. I think, in my opinion, it's getting too hung up on perceived slights versus intended anything. Because I don't think there's any intended slights. But a lot of times people will decide to take something personal or be offended.
Right. They're really crapping on engineers versus physicists versus
just like nerd culture or whatever. And you're taking shit way too personally.
Way too personal, yeah.
Reference said, I don't like the show, but except it was luckily fun to work on. I can see that. Said like some aspect of it, but long term, I feel like it was mocking people a lot. It made autism the joke a lot too. I don't think so. See, I would disagree with that. I don't think it mocked people a lot, and nor was autism the butt of the joke. They dealt very seriously with the fact, like, it's eventually you find out that like Sheldon has like a storage warehouse of everything he's ever had. He's definitely on the spectrum, and on top of that is like a hoarder, but to a very specific catalog level. But he doesn't want to reveal it, so he's literally got a storage warehouse with the toothbrushes from when he was 3 or some shit, like just all in a Ziploc bag. Like, it's the most organized hoarding you've ever seen depicted, but it makes sense for his character.
It makes sense for his character, yeah.
To both be that, but also be that crazy about organizing it, and him trying to work through and live with some of that. So
yeah, I agree. I don't think it was necessarily mocking people as it was just showing.
It was using it as a foundation of
a character.
Some of the characters. And sometimes there could be jokes, and I would certainly agree that if you don't know the rest of the show, you see it cold, you might interpret it that way. But should you watch like the goddamn billion seasons that exist, you would realize that they're more serious about it, and there's growth and arcs. And just because there's a joke at some point doesn't mean that's how they are. But
there's also, you got the cuts where they do this with Friends, where they take out the laugh track, and it's just so awkward. It's, tell a joke.
Pause.
Silence. Punchline. Pause.
Yeah, it's like actually working on the show, it ends up being very weird because you have to wait for the audience laughter part.
I would have sworn, and I could be wrong with this, but I would have sworn they actually did have an audience, but it was one of those things where it's like they do both. Like they would they have a live audience, but also on the taping sometimes they might punch up.
They mic the audience as well for the laugh track. And of course you have all the boom mics for everyone. Those boom mics are only picking up like Sheldon or whoever else is the character in that particular scene. So they can isolate the tracks depending on what they want.
Sure. And like I said, I don't think they ever said they didn't, but it was more like there is laughter, but I think at some point admitted it's very common to punch up a laugh track. So if you think this spot for television needs it to be higher or whatever, you punch it up. But that's not to say there wasn't a laugh at the time. But I don't know, I've never cared about that. There's plenty of other shows that do that.
Every comedy
has a laugh track. Common, and also if it works. Brett, if it works, then it works. It's part of the medium. And if it doesn't work on you, then you're not going to appreciate it. But I think for a lot of people, the jokes would be funny anyways. But it's like watching a movie versus watching a movie in a theater with a bunch of rowdy people, especially if you're with those people. You might laugh more if you're with a group of people laughing. But if you're sitting at home watching it by yourself, you might just go, you might just exhale through the nose. You know what I mean? Because you're not in that environment of expressing.
Well, yeah, because it can also affect scary movies or action films. Because I remember watching when Jurassic Park first came out. The T-Rex all of a sudden comes out, and I remember there's maybe 1 or 2 rows behind me. There's this guy, he's home, like for the whole couple minutes. It's like, what the hell?
Or the same thing, if you're watching a scary movie in the theater with a bunch of people and someone shrieks, everyone's gonna, because you're like heightened, right? If you're watching it at home by yourself, you're less likely to react as viscerally. I think it's fairly normal that a laugh track is going to get you to laugh at something you already find funny. I don't believe it'll make you laugh at something that you don't inherently think is at least a little bit funny. Does that make sense?
True, yeah.
Like, I don't think if there's a laugh track at a part that you find zero funny, you're not going to laugh at it.
You're not going to laugh at it anyway.
But you will laugh at it more if you do think it's funny and you hear laughter. It helps bring it out.
It's a sympathetic reaction, yeah.
Yeah, it's like being at a comedy show versus watching a comedy set on TV, like by yourself. You might find it funny, but you're not necessarily like laughing out loud and slapping your thigh. If you're at the show and you're in with everyone else and it's a joke and it's funny, you laugh out loud.
Which is why they have opening acts that they don't show.
Right, to help get people like
it warms up the audience.
Yeah,
you warm people up so they're ready to laugh. So they're in that frame. Bomber, some parts just make you feel uncomfortable. That's fair. I'm not discounting anyone else's experience. I'm just saying for me, I like seeing literally the show from beginning to end probably like 50 times. I cannot explain to you through two small children how much Big Bang Theory was fucking permanently on the TV and like there as like this warm envelope. That it just has a different sensibility. Even if I see an episode now, it's just like a warm fuzzy blanket. Doesn't matter what's going on in the episode, just the fact that it's there.
But that's the way with art.
Yeah, true.
People will always take their different points from it. And
Golden Girls, best perpetual rerun material. So I actually like Golden Girls, but I don't know that I agree with that statement.
I think if I was going to choose a show,
I would say The Office is what got us through the pandemic, the lockdowns, and not just us, but apparently a good chunk of the populace, because The Office went fucking boom, like through the roof.
I'm trying to think what show that would be for me. No, I know exactly what that would be for me. That'd be basically Star Trek. It'd be
I saw that coming.
Any Star Trek. My wife would be Gilmore Girls. Huge fan of Gilmore Girls.
You don't like the later seasons of The Office? I would say, like, for me, at this point, having literally watched The Office, okay, as much as Big Bang Theory was on when we had the children, I don't think The Office was off our TV from 2020 through today. Like, it's still basically on our TV all day. Like, it's just there as, like, a security blanket. I don't think our TV stopped showing The Office since March 2020. So I'm not even joking. Like, I now enjoy different segments of The Office seasons for different reasons. I know it's perfectly fair to be Michael Scott.
You're like, they're all good. They're all good at this point. It's just differing levels of good, really.
Yeah, like my wife doesn't like watching the first ones anymore, which admittedly they were like super cringe when they first started before they fixed Michael Scott. Like originally they were too close to the UK version at first, and he was way too much of a piece of shit to find likable. And those ones are tough to rewatch sometimes. And then the later ones like Michael Scott leaves, and then you have like different people. But over time and just over it being on enough, like I just enjoy it. Again, as like a security blanket, like it doesn't matter which one's on. It's The Office. There's going to be the theme song. There's going to
like I said, for one,
I feel like it's my generation's Cheers.
See, that's what I was going to say. Good. Is that even though I said Star Trek, I do like a good Star Trek episode, but they are like sometimes they're long, they're involved. You got to watch them. You have to like really pay attention to them. So they're not exactly of that same caliber. And actually, the show I might pick as being like a show I could just have on in the background and actually really turn off and enjoy. The last show that I think of that I really did that with was Cheers.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the whole point of Cheers, like where everyone knows your name. I think The Office is very much another generation's Cheers. In fact, since the pandemic, another generation.
And even more, and even another.
That didn't even know about Cheers. Like I remember either reading or hearing like an interview, like the actress that plays Pam in The Office had people come up to her Like, oh man, you look like an older version of Pam.
You look like that one person on the Pam from The
like
Office.
you could be Pam. Like
Is
am.
that like the Tony Hawk issue?
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, because these very young teenagers and whatnot are seeing The Office in the lockdown for the first time and don't realize how old The Office really is. Cast at a mall tour to meet people to improve their characters. That's also where they got a bunch of movie reference stuff to fill out desks and stuff. Oh, that's cool. I actually did see some of them prior to the pandemic. There was a Pittsburgh like Comic-Con kind of thing, and being Pennsylvania, Office is pretty big.
Oh yeah,
out here.
Oh yeah.
There was a bunch of them that were there. There was like a panel, like an Office panel. It was SteelCon, which was pretty great. My favorite thing about SteelCon is it's the only Comic-Con I've been to that served you alcohol like 10 a.m. and soft pretzels, to which I say, fuck yes, every time, please. And on top of that, scattered throughout like the
soft pretzels are a marvel.
So I had a cranberry and vodka and a soft pretzel, and it was 10 a.m. and I'm browsing like toys and comics, and like, this is freaking great. And then scattered throughout all like the collectibles and comics and booths are whiskey tasting booths.
Nice.
Just randomly. And I was like,
yes.
This
convention is awesome.
Way smaller. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con. Way smaller. But booze and soft pretzels alone, like 10 times better experience. Like, just yes, I will try this whiskey and then chase it with my cranberry and vodka and have a soft pretzel and continue meandering along the aisles. It was fucking great. Oh, the Finger Lakes guy, insane. Jim Carrey with the Finger Lakes shit was fucking hilarious. And that doesn't happen, by the way, Vollmer, without Michael Scott leaving. There are some bonuses to him on the outs, as you do get some things like that. Or Will Ferrell is boss for a couple of episodes.
Some new things that came in.
Yeah, like that there was some good stuff that happened even after he left. So like the Finger Lakes guy. I love it. The way he says it, his delivery, like he's not in that very long. He's not in that very long, but holy shit. People disappear in the thing. I feel like that could almost dovetail into a Fargo thing right there. You just need like Jim Carrey in Fargo season 4 or some shit. Like, and it splinters right off. It's the same character, just like literally disappearing in the Finger Lakes. Or making someone disappear in the Finger Lakes. Would be great.
My cat's being insane right now. What are you doing? She must hear me just talking, and she's like, you're talking. I'm going to bother you.
My dog only does that when I'm drinking something for some reason. He decides that is not okay. I don't know why.
Yeah, my cat. Like, before we started the show, she was sitting in her chair behind me. As soon as it gets started, she jumps down, meows. I want to go out now. You're here all day. We're talking during work, and now you want to leave when I just get started?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're paying attention to my video, she's just, again, I've not fixed it. I'm not even sure how I'm going to fix it. Yeah, really.
Car seat cover.
Just, right, something. She's destroyed the top of, and you'll just periodically see her just jump up on top for a couple minutes there. She was up on this, and she loves this because there's a little hole, like right there in the center here. There's a little hole right there, and she just will chase her tail through that hole. So she'll just climb up on top.
Yeah, so you just need duct tape. Look, if duct tape can stop a bear, it can stop a cat.
I don't actually mind her doing it. It's just the fact that she just destroyed the top of it with her claws. That's all.
So if I send Jim Carrey a really good script and use the local settings, he might come back for the Finger Lakes guy suspicious shenanigans. I don't know. Didn't he say he was like done? I'm pretty sure that's a fairly recent thing where he was just like, I'm done.
Just Jim Carrey in general?
I think so. He was just
possibly.
I think after he did like a reaction to the whole Chris Rock, Will Smith incident. And then he was like, I'm done. I've done enough. I do small things. I think he's done with movies. Yeah.
Except when he gets a really good script. Yeah, of course. Like,
he might do Sonic 3. I can see that if he enjoyed doing 1 and 2. He's definitely at a space where he could just do what he wants or not.
But for that one too, it's Oh no, in Sonic he's more live action. So yeah, doing voiceover stuff.
No, Sonic, yeah, he's live action.
But he's live action in Sonic, yeah.
He is like that caricature villain, though, completely. Yeah, as I say, he was prime character. He was definitely like he was a cartoon character, just in live action, which I think genuinely is what he's always liked to do anyway, so it makes sense.
I think he's at a point in his life where I can do whatever I want. I can take whatever scripts if I really want to go do it or not. I'm comfortable in my mansions and...
Yeah, like Tom Hanks and whatnot. He's like... Yeah. They can pick and choose. Yeah. They're not hurting for any work, basically.
He's happy painting.
Yeah.
So we do have some news. If anyone wants to hear about news,
that can't be true.
I know. That's not why anyone tunes in.
Wait, we need Futurama. I have news. Terrible news. Farnsworth.
Be like, make a note of that. Get that stinger. Good news, everyone.
We got Secret World Legends 2 coming up. Heard it here first.
Secret World Legends 2. You know what? At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if they were
Dude, I would be hyped as fuck. Are you kidding me?
Battle Royale.
It'd be like instead of making it an MMO, we're basically make it a, I don't know, single player open world game. Be like, yes.
Dude, I don't give a shit what they do. If it's anything with the IP,
anything with the IP.
A mobile game?
Yeah, I'd do a mobile game for Secret World.
That'd be down.
And if
collecting
it's got
characters,
good writing,
making them battle.
If Scrib is there, if Scrib wants to write for the Secret World version of Raid Shadow Legends, I'm fucking there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, Secret World gacha game.
I don't give a
down.
Fuck.
Why not?
You should probably send that to him and be like, if you guys made a Secret World Legends version of Raid Shadow Legends, I totally...
Not for nothing. Our upgrade system in Secret World right now is similar to a gacha systems anyway, with mostly the upgrading dating sim. Yeah, why not?
Oh, what was that?
No, we're nowhere near
Dream Daddy's Secret World.
I saw some video on Genshin Impact and I was like, holy fuck, we are nowhere near that kind of stupid shit. Holy goddamn.
No, nowhere near. Yeah, level up.
We are nowhere near any kind of fucking Korean shit at all.
But that's the thing with Genshin, is I tried playing it and it's
like RNG for the character you get in the first place, or characters.
No, I think we basically get a couple of, but it is like completely RNG after that.
No, I know, but the ones you want are not the ones you start.
Right? They're not the ones you start off with, and they're not the ones you get.
The ones you want are like fucking crazy RNG.
Yeah, $39.99.
Yeah, they're $9.99
for a chance.
Yeah, to get 1,000 pull.
0.0002% chance at the one you want, and you get male characters, and then drown them or something because they're shit.
But no, I tried it out, and there is basically a PC version.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But not even a version. When you play it on PC, it's basically like playing a full screen cell phone app is basically what it is. I don't know. It's hard to describe, like the way that the menus work, or the way that... Yes, we do. Yeah, the way that the menus work, or the way that basically everything works in the game, it feels like a cell phone game. And that's because it is a cell phone game. You can download it on your cell phone and play it. Like, it is primarily first made for a cell phone and just ported over to PC.
What you're saying is that they should make Raid Shadow Legends for PC?
Yes, that is what I'm saying, yeah. Actually, I'm saying that most games on a cell phone can actually work on. But I think, was it Windows 11?
Yeah,
Windows 11 has
Android apps. Yeah.
Windows 11, you could do Android apps just fine.
I didn't mean to kill you. I'm a tank. It didn't do shit to me. But
I'm a glass cannon.
I realize it's an AoE.
I think I've got mine is still set up. Mine is still set up the way that I'm allocated in the 15% survivability. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm not sure how you died.
It is doing damage. It's just not.
It is just
because he's not getting an opportunity to heal. That's why.
I guess not. No. Maybe that's why I'm still perpetually healing in the background.
Yeah, I noticed his health bar wasn't going back up.
My health is an RNG.
We're like, what are Gaki showing up for? Because they do. Yeah, so we have some news. First news on the piece of list, something that they just announced. What was it, like 12 hours ago?
Today, I think.
Today, yeah. Funcom has listed 69 job openings in 5 different countries.
69!
Noise.
69. Why not?
We're a real professional show here, folks. Strap in.
I was going to make that joke. And I realized someone had already made the joke, because of course they have on their official Twitter statement. I was like, of course someone already pointed out. And then it was replied to with nice, because you have to. But not only that, and I didn't necessarily catch this, Jimmy caught this, is that they simultaneously dropped artwork, and these are supposed to be basically the first real glimpses that we have for the upcoming Dune open world sandbox game.
Yeah, so on the jobs page, there's some art there. But what caught my attention was Joe Bilos tweeted or retweeted the Funcom Join Us on Dune tweet with probably the first thing we've ever shown of the game. Strings of sand clouds lay across the sunset like slatted shutters. And I was like, wait a minute. First thing we've ever shown of the game. And I was like, hold on a second. So you're saying the pictures on this page saying Join Us on Dune are actually representative
of the game itself? Yeah. These are basically some of the first shots.
Whether it be concept art or whether it be in-game renders is maybe somewhat up to just your view on it. But regardless, definitely the first visual of any kind I believe we've gotten for the new game.
Which, of course, we could also speculate on because there's a lot of good stuff going on with this. Yeah, so this is the first image that they have as the header. And I believe this one is concept art. And then this one, however, looks a little more like an in-game render.
And this person should actually get in cover with that sandstorm coming in. Good idea.
Depends how much health you lose in a sandstorm.
That little hatchet thing, he's just going to hack his way at the sandstorm.
There are sandstorms in Conan Exile.
He's going to craft a lathe.
Survive them. It's okay.
Craft a lathe. Fuck off.
Gotta carry your lathe with you, yeah.
And there's actually a third picture, too, that I hadn't really discovered.
It was the background. Sort of the background, but actually, the closer you look at this, kind of relatively looks like a render as well.
Yeah, I can go either way on that one. It could be a render. It could be more concept art. You can't have rendered concept art, so that's not entirely
right. The first one I noticed, and if you bring up the first one again, see, it's that rock. It's that big rock, right? I'm pointing it with my mouse. The first, it's not work. People can't see my mouse. The rock that's almost directly under the dude, that one right there. It looks looks like a render.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It doesn't look like painted. It looks like
enhance.
Zoom and enhance.
Yeah, it looks more. See, I've seen what people can do in like Unreal, in the new Unreal Engine, just in like tech demos. The base out of the box. Here's the engine you license. Go play with it, and you can do some crazy shit. You can pretty easily just set up scenes. It seems like, at least, in the engine. You could be right about this one. Like you said, it looks a little more brushstrokey.
This one looks a little more. This one looks a little more like it's concept art, but
yeah, because you can tell like the brushstrokes, and
especially in the clouds. If you go up to the clouds, you can see the brushstrokes really well.
See, I figured the clouds just might be a skybox, in which case that very well could be art. You know what I mean?
But then the brushstrokes extend past that anyway. But again, it could be a filter. It could be
a brushstroke filter.
A brushstroke filter, even.
I mean, it's likely it's concept art, but I do think the guy standing there, for sure, looks like a test render in an engine.
That looks like an engine render, yeah.
Yeah, but if you go back to the guy standing there tab, Waffle, I think it was like the second one you opened.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one looks more like a test render. There's some clouds out there. We've got our.
But his lighting looks very computer generated.
Yeah, if you go down, like his shadow, the way his like goes off.
Yeah,
I don't know. It looks like an in Unreal Engine render.
It looks very Unreal Engine and now I'm gonna forget the word again. Ray tracing. It looks very ray traced.
Yeah. But I think it does give you
But it'd be fools not to basically release game with heavy ray tracing.
Oh yeah.
They'd be fools not to.
Could be photogrammetry for the rock texture. All that makes me think of Refem is Grammaton Clerics and Gun Fu. So now my brain's in a completely different direction.
Photography and geometry, photogrammetry. But that is like a while ago they showed like a ray tracing demo, and it was like an adventure going into a cave or something like that. And the rock facing looked very similar to that. Like it looked very photorealistic.
Yeah. But regardless, like I was saying before the show, regardless of whether it's actual in-game or just even concept art,
they're both basically the first guess. Or they're the first guess. They're basically the first
They're still the
Kind of.
first visual depiction of what they want the game to be like. And even if you take it at that, this is way more visual information, well, than the 0 we had before.
This is
really
anything to
cool.
go off of. If this is anything to go off of, we could take a look at like this picture here, which shows a dude on foot.
Gives you scale. This is going to be your character.
So
You're
like,
wielding a tool. You have a tool of some kind.
And behind the using that third person over the shoulder, whatever.
Sure.
But then the first one, which is a concept art, to be fair, but it's showing a character getting into a ship, and then in the distance it shows a, what do they call
It's
it?
an awesome
Ornithopter?
landscape, really.
Ornithopter. That's what this is as well.
And it's showing, it's showing that. So it's also basically saying that this game will possibly have both aspects of both on ground and
it does lie. Now they may not do it.
Yeah, Ornithopter mounts.
It basically shows that
Well,
maybe
I
even
mean-
from the jump, or maybe who knows, but that basically it says that you will have basically vehicles.
Yeah. It's not like that's
Flying
unheard of in
vehicles.
games these days, for sure. Like vehicles are a thing.
Yeah, like vehicles, even flying vehicles, and on ground, to have that simultaneous both vehicle and ground systems. So more than just mounts necessarily, but
Yeah, what Halo's had that for fucking ever. That was like one of their big things was the
GTA.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like when I remember when Halo was Bungie, and even before that when it was like a crack.
Or
anyone
Zero
remember
Heads.
crack? Does anyone remember crack.com like at all?
Yeah,
That was like think before Bungie bought it from them, and then Microsoft took over Bungie. I remember the test of the Halo vehicle where someone can drive and someone get in the back and shoot the gun.
Yeah, the Warthog.
I remember like the test 3D footage of that from from crack.com, like before Bungie, like back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So the idea of a vehicle that you can pilot and someone else can be in is not
a new concept, right?
It's not new. It's way easier to do nowadays, for sure. At that time, it was fucking like groundbreaking. It was like, holy shit.
But the thing is that we don't necessarily see this a lot in more MMO or multiplayer style games. You will have mounts. You can have mounts, and even flying mounts in a lot of games. But like they are, especially if you're going to be doing something more than just, I don't know, just going from point A to point B in them.
You do remember years ago, back in Secret World, they said mounts are not possible. We can't do it.
Mounts are not a thing. We can't do them.
Fast forward, just what, 2 years or maybe 3 years? Hey, here's a mount. It's a horse or whatever. I forget which one was.
The first one
like it doesn't actually make you go any faster.
Yeah,
but you
the
going
hoverboard.
from point A to point B. Yeah.
I think it was a horse.
The motorcycle. No, the first one was the chopper, right? It was the chopper.
First one was the chopper. Yeah, horses came later.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the next one was the hoverboard. Maybe the stealth board was one of the first mounts for sure. I remember seeing the animation for it, but I think the chopper, the Franken chopper, was the very first mount. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the piece of the road DLC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the very first one. I think
you're right, because it also basically the DLC let everyone have one essentially.
And then I want to say the hoverboard might have been, the stealth board might have been like the second one. I think horses came later. I'm not positive.
Yeah, horses did come a little later.
But
then it opened up to sprints.
In my head, I still remember like that, and that GIF that like Tilty tweeted out of the hoverboard kickflip next to Danny's skate park, where he just does like the kickflip and like lands, and I was, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Everybody on Twitter was just like, oh, what? Do we get that?
And their whole thing ended up being, that's why initially they were like, oh, we don't want to use mounts, because usually you get on a mount, you just move faster when you're on the mount. And mounts in this game are more like, no, mounts are cosmetic, man. You don't have to use one at all. You can just, it's all based on your sprint speed.
I think Tilty wanted to do, here's the thing. I don't think it was a technical limitation. I believe, I want to say more information came out. I think it was that Bylos did not want to do them. Either Bylos, I could be wrong, I don't want to throw him under the bus unnecessarily. Bylos or someone else higher up than Tilty
basically shot it down.
Did not want to do mounts. They're like, my immersion kind of thing. And
mask everywhere. The bikinis.
yeah. But legitimately, they were
my immersion.
My immersion.
I want to say it was
Crazy as outfit.
like I recall it being something from Bylus, but I'm not positive.
At some point, they basically were like, "No, we jumped the shark a long time ago. We can do it now. It's okay."
Well, I think once Tiltley got in charge, he was like, "I've always wanted to do this. We're gonna do this." They just had to resize characters. That's true. It does resize your character when you get on sprint mount. It resizes your character. I not only can you visually see this, but it's the only thing that lets you get around when Andy leaves you giant sized for a weekend. You put on a sprint mount and it goes.
You shrink back down to regular size.
It is the craziest thing to like one of the times he left me super huge, fucking like taller than like buildings in Tokyo. It's crazy to be like the fucking size of a skyscraper, and then you put on the what's the little guy on two wheels?
Bicycle? Motorcycle?
Segway.
Oh, okay. I was like the
two wheels, yeah.
So you're like scooter. No. So the Segway. So it's really funny to be like literally the size of a skyscraper, and then you put on the Segway and you go whoop, and you're like exactly the size to ride the
that's basically the secret is right. When you're on a mount, everyone is the same size. No matter what size you made your character at the beginning of the game, when you get on a mount, everyone's the same size.
That includes bigger, I believe, as well. I think if you made a small character, I think it actually sizes you up. Like it just makes you the size for the mount, which again, useful when someone leaves you super giant sized and forgets about you.
As someone would tend to do.
It lets you get through the game in other ways.
Yeah, which is fine. Do what you got to do. Like for the most part, you're not even really going to notice if you're like, oh, my character's really short. You get on the bike, you mostly see the bike, or you mostly see you see the steed more than you see your character's height. I don't know if that's the same for sprints though. It might be what it is for mounts. I'm not sure it's the same for sprints.
I think it's only mount sprints. I don't.
Yeah.
Anything that spawns an extra object. Because they are different, because you can't use them in rooms, in buildings, or instances. That's why you can't do it in a dungeon.
Sorry, I'm yelling at my cat. We've had a fox visitor. We have a fox den right outside of our house somewhere, and so we keep getting baby foxes coming up and checking out and sitting on our deck.
I just got deer and rabbits.
No, we won't have deer and rabbits because now we have foxes.
Literally at the same time. We got deer and rabbits that look out the window and there's 5 deer. And they're like next to this bush, and out of the bush, like a little cottontail rabbit just goes. I'm like,
you're like, what is this, Cinderella?
You're a Disney princess.
Get a couple of birds down here.
Oh yeah, we have birds too.
No, I posted pictures on Twitter of this when a little one came up. A little tiny, had to be less than a foot long, like 8-9 inches.
$5.
This little fox cub, and it brought up a squirrel, and it was just sitting there on the porch, like just chomping down on the squirrel.
I like that Waffle got that $5 foot long.
Don't make me close it. You are a terror tonight.
That's what she said.
That is.
Don't make me close it.
Don't make me close it.
Store is closed.
I'm gonna close it.
Slap.
Going up, using her claws on my screen door. Leave it be. So yeah, we've been having foxes, and they're freaking adorable. But we know that if you see a fox cub, its parents are going to be around as well.
Probably.
Because they do that.
Bomber, you vanished to get ice cream.
Okay, Volner, nice. Did you bring enough for everybody else, though?
And the most important question, what ice cream?
Yeah, what flavor? Toppings?
Wait, toppings? If you have to get toppings, you got the wrong ice cream.
No, the sprinkles.
You get your choice of
or
toppings.
Strawberries.
Toppings are also
good. I'm saying that means you didn't get a good ice cream.
It's a flavor enhancer.
You could have sprinkles.
There's your mom joke just hanging in there that I'm gonna leave alone. But I'm pointing it out.
Look,
you can get toppings. You can get
No, but I'm saying if you get a good ice cream, it has the toppings in it.
So let's just say you get vanilla. You just eat.
Why the fuck did you get vanilla? That's what I'm saying. That is the problem. That's your problem.
That's fair. If you get like a Rocky Road, you don't need toppings on Rocky Road.
That's vanilla bean.
But you get a vanilla. Yeah, you're
gonna
need toppings.
You're a vanilla bean.
No, you are.
You put on some sprinkles, or as they're also known as jimmies. Get some jimmies on there.
That's not what.
Why would I? No.
What are you talking about? In fact,
what?
Jimmy's, like, why would you put condoms on your ice cream? Because what I learned from Fallout is that Jimmy's are condoms.
Jimmy's are a type of sprinkles. They're actually
No.
the rainbow ones.
Yeah, you don't
are
want that kind of
sprinkles.
sprinkle.
Yeah, this is weird Jersey vernacular. In South Jersey, they're generally all referred to as sprinkles, but the rainbow ones are generally called sprinkles. The just chocolate ones are called Jimmy's. It's weird vernacular, ice cream vernacular. But it's also right. But that changes whether you're in North Jersey as opposed to South Jersey. So North Jersey has a whole bunch of its own words for everything.
What if I'm in no Jersey?
I don't know. Call whatever you want.
Because that's the best Jersey to be in.
I took one of those. I took one of those. We could tell where you're from based on your accent type quizzes, and or not even accent. It's what you call thing. There are two things that we call here that's like nowhere else. And so it always, whenever I take those quizzes, it always just like pegs me right down to be like, you're from South Jersey. Shut up.
Yeah, we know where you're from.
Yeah. New York, better Jersey? No. New York is the wannabe Jersey.
I think it would depend. Which New York is actually a lot bigger than people think it is.
Oh yeah, the entire state. Yeah.
Yeah, I think upstate New York is vastly different than what
vastly. Oh yeah, no, it's not just all the city. Yeah.
Because I lived in upstate New York as a young kid, and when I told people I lived in New York, they immediately just think of New York City and nowhere else. And I was like, that is not my experience.
You're like, no, the city
all.
is just like the southernmost point of New York. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a place where I had a creek down the hill in the front yard, a pond I could fish out of in the back, and a mountainside for a backyard so big it had a hunting cabin at the top that took half a day to reach. Like, my experience growing up in New York was not the city experience.
No, and New York actually has a lot of good wineries too.
There was a gravel pit across the road.
We have the Finger Lakes, yeah.
And a dairy farm up the road. So in the summer, I would just go across. You realize a gravel pit is basically the world's biggest sandbox. And they just leave like the vehicles there all year long. You can just go clamber on top of like bulldozers and shit. They don't ever move them.
Yeah, no one cares.
And then, up the street was a dairy farm that I actually got to drink milk like right out of the mixing vat as it came from the cows. Like when we went down there and said hi at some point. I didn't go to wineries, but I was like 7.
Yeah, you were gonna go to the famous New York upstate wineries when you were.
I was 7 years old. And just going to wine tastings.
I wish.
Why not? My wife and I used to love going to wine tastings because New Jersey actually has quite a few good wineries as well. And so they'd have like wine festivals and whatnot. And we're like, so what are these wines? There was one where it's like, we went camping once and they were like, oh, there's a wine festival going on nearby. And we're like, so what goes on like at these wine festivals? You have to like dress code or whatnot. They're like, no, it's all outdoors. It's all under tents. It's all whatever. So everyone is just in like lawn chairs and whatnot, or beach chairs.
Oh, it's kind of like a eyes wide shut kind of thing.
Yeah. It's good times. And then, but no, they were like, and so what do you do? And they're like, oh, basically, you just pay an entrance fee and then you get as many samples of wine as you want. And so you just basically drink all day for, I don't know, $10. Excuse me? Just drinking all day for like $10? Like,
I would do serious damage.
Let's go to that. And for about, I would say almost a decade or so, we were like big into going to wine festivals. Like, oh, there's another wine festival. Let's go hit it up. So we actually got in the process of just basically having weekends where we just drink ourselves silly. We actually became relative connoisseurs of wine. That was a side effect is we were like, oh no, yeah, we know our varietals. We're doing pretty well by now. Because we got sloshed.
We just drink everything. I remember we went to a concert and we got a hotel next to the place. And the hotel had a wine tasting in the lobby. And we were going to go get dinner. I was like, we can stop at the wine tasting first. And they had like reds and whites. And we're down there and we're like having some. And this one lady was drinking. She's like, oh, you can go like red to white. I can't do that. And I was like, red to white? I can go red to white and red and white.
And we were like, yeah, I can go red to white and back to red. And
I was like, I've had 4. I'm just altering them on purpose right now. I'm just going like this. Just to change it up. Like,
you're like, everything is like an ounce, like an ounce, maybe 2 ounces at a time. But the thing is that occasionally you would find like the tent where the people who are serving the wine or have also been drinking the wine. And so they're giving pours that are like a little bigger than what they should be. They'd be like, here, have some. Yeah, have a little more. No, have a little more. Have a little more than that. And so it's just,
If you don't
No.
like the taste of wine, you haven't had enough wine. Because at a certain point, you don't mind the taste of wine.
That's what it is. And because going into it, we're like, oh, we're not big wine fans. We find them to be bitter. We find them to be whatever. That just means you just haven't found one that you liked. There's
Or
plenty
just
out
had
there.
enough. Because once you've had
Or just had enough of it, right?
once you've had 4 glasses of that shitty wine, you're like, this 5th glass of shitty wine sounds pretty good.
You're like,
Yeah.
this box of wine is not bad.
What I was going to
once
say
you
is a
get-
box wine. You go through that first.
Mhm.
Yeah, but once you get through the first half box of the wine, the other half of the box of the wine tastes pretty good.
But that was actually something that we learned more than anything else from going to all these wine festivals is that
Oh, there's
the
tons
wines
of
when they're
different-
like, oh, only like the most expensive wines are the best. No, that's bullshit.
No, that's bullshit.
It's bullshit. You can get like a $10 bottle or a $5 bottle will taste just as good as the like $75 bottle. Like it is.
It's really well, part of it's your palate and part of it's just what you like or don't like. And also there is a reason that they have food recommendations, because if you're like, it's often recommended like you're like wine, like you pair with food, like you're gonna have it with dinner, and yeah,
Because they complement. Yeah.
they complement. And so that like spicy peppery red wine, if you just drink it by itself to get drunk, this kind of sucks until I'm hammered. Then it's like, if you have it with a steak like it's supposed to be, it's really good. It complements the other flavors correctly.
And so what we found is that if you're basically drinking to get drunk, or you're drinking just to drink, and you're doing wine, you want to stick with something that's actually a little more on the sweeter side. You want to stick with the sangrias
Yeah.
or the
unless you just don't care. And then,
so you want to go with the sweeter ones, because the sweeter ones, you could pair them with food, but they mostly pair with, I don't know, desserts or something.
yeah, there's dessert wines.
And so you want to go with the sweeter ones because just by themselves, they don't necessarily need to be paired with any food in order to just be good, or more like the fruit wines, something like a blueberry wine or a raspberry wine, or just generally nice sangria. And it's just, I don't know. If you don't like the taste of wine, there's one out there that you probably will. It's just you haven't found it. And how would you find it without going to a wine festival and trying 200 wines?
Are you muted, Waffle? Were you
I
saying
was.
something else? Okay. I wasn't sure that was intentional or not.
No, my finger hit the button.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying is, unless you have a store that has a whole bunch of other wine tasting, like Total Wine is a great
Do they
place
do
to go.
one? Do they do one?
Yeah, they
I
do
haven't
wine
been to
testing
one.
because they have a wine tasting bar
Gotcha.
section area. At least the one
Yeah,
that's
but they
near
don't
me.
want you to get drunk in the store.
Oh no.
Wine festivals like expect you to get hammered.
So I haven't done one out here, but out in California they have Bevmo, which is beverages and more. It's like what it's short for. But it's like Total Wine or that kind of thing. It's just a big fucking, like the Best Buy of booze.
Yeah.
Like that's what Bevmo is out there. It's comparable. They had like a tasting. It was like $6 or something. And like they went from one end to the other. I don't know what that lady was talking about, not being able to have one wine after the other, because this tasting was literally like, we're going to start here and you'll get to the dessert one and we're going to try all of them in the middle. It was like 8 bottles or something, and we all got to try like some of each one. And then we got to go back, and since we're there just hanging out, talking about the wines, they're like, which one do you want more of? I said, I kind of more of all of them.
Yeah, which one do you want more of? Let me try that one. And then that one.
Like, and then that one.
And then that one.
Like, by the time we were done, I had fucking like 12 glasses of wine or some shit. Like, that was a good time. Plus, they had little crackers and cheeses.
Oh yeah, that's what they have too. It's like
You have
what
to
you
clear
can
your
pair
palate
with.
with this,
Yeah.
right, with this tiny cracker.
Or
It's not gonna clear
what I
anything.
call snacks.
You have to clear your palate with these.
You call it a palate
with this thing of
cleanser. I call it
beer nuts.
snack.
Thank you.
Snacks so I can eat, so I can drink more food.
No, I just remember like Total Wine that has like that because I was able to find a chocolate beer that was really good. I couldn't remember what it was. I can't find it anymore. But you go like the craft beer section, and they have it all sectioned out. Here is your fruity beer. Here's like your chocolate beer. Here's your coffee beers. And
There's who makes it now. I forget who makes it now, but there's
got
a maple bacon donut beer.
Yeah, of course.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
And I can't, like Rogue, I think maybe is the company. It's actually not bad. If anything, the bacon's a little smoky. Like it's a little smoky. Like I am not a beer drinker at all. Like for me to drink beer, I don't like drinking beer. but I'll drink anything if I'm hammered. So, yeah, like
it's part of the territory.
Yeah, so it's not a problem then. The only beer I've ever tasted and been like, yes, I want more of that, like dead sober, it's like Double Arrogant Bastard. So Arrogant Bastard's like a beer you can look up. It's like a gargoyle kind of thing, but it's only at Christmas time. They come out with like Double Arrogant Bastard. It's like a special seasonal one. And I got my friend it's like $100 bottle. It's fucking like this goddamn. See, it doesn't fit in the camera like tall.
Okay.
Like it's fucking huge. It's got one of those like metal clasp cork things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's got a lock.
Yeah.
Like it comes with a lock. Like this huge fucking $100
It's like
bottle.
a Magnum wine bottle.
Well, like a
for
cork
beer
system with like a latch and like a lock on it and key. And I got him that for Christmas one year, and he had me try some of it. And that is like one of the only beers I've ever been like, I would like straight sober, I would drink that. That shit was good. It's some kind of darker. It's a very dark one. I don't remember what else it has and what else the flavor profile is. But it's the only thing where I was like, holy fuck. Like I would drink that. I would straight up drink that just to drink it because it tasted good. But everything else I have to be fucking already drinking because beer is just fucking some variant of piss water or maybe mud water.
Yeah, for a while there we drank a lot of beer, but it was only because beer is not great and basically just helps you get drunk. Basically one of the only real reasons.
Yeah, I feel like you can do that a lot cheaper with liquor and a lot faster.
See, I don't know, because sometimes those bars just have really good specials on beer, and you would get a lot of beer for a little money.
No, but you have to drink so much liquid, though. That's what I'm saying.
It's a lot of liquid, yeah.
You have to drink so much. Like, you could just do 3 shots of vodka in quick succession and be like, holy shit.
Or you can drink like a case or 2 of the frat beer.
Yeah.
Sometimes those 3 shots of vodka would cost you a lot more than what the beer would.
Depends on where you are.
Depends where you are, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could go get a bottle of vodka for, I don't know, $10 or something. And if you do it in quick enough succession, like, that's the thing. It's about how fast you do it. If you do that small amount of liquid quick enough, you can get fucked up. Like, if you put it in a mixed drink and drink it over an hour or whatever, then yeah, sure, it's
gonna take its time, yeah.
Yeah, but if you just do shots really fast back to back, that's just gonna mess you up. Yeah.
It reminds me of one time my wife picks on me still to this day. We went camping a long time ago, and it was with a whole mess of friends, and we hit the liquor store before we went, and it was we really gotta get going. We can't spend too much time in a liquor store. So I was like, all right, this 6-pack looks good. Let's go. And we got there, and it was like, she's like, what did you get? And I was like, I don't know. It was just like, it wasn't beer. It was dark. It had fruit on it. I'm like, it's fine. We got there, and it was like Smirnoff Ice, but it was like low carb black cherry.
Oh, good God.
And I was like, I didn't intend to get low carb. I was like, black cherry sounds good. So it had cherries on it. I was like, okay, whatever, we're drinking it. And I think I went through like 5 of them, 5 out of the 6, and couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. Like, it was just, they just went down so quick and so easy. It was just like, bam. And yeah, no, I spent the rest of the night being pretty good. I was like, I'm good.
The Smirnoff Ices are so like sugary. Oof.
But these were low carb ones, and so the low carb ones meant they had a lower sugar content, and so they went down so quick, so damn quick. So I was like, you know what? I'm not knocking low carb black cherry. They were good. They were good, and they got the job. Oh, that was the same camping trip. Again, one of the famous stories. That was a camping trip where it became late at night. We had our fire going. We had a whole bunch of food that we were putting over the fire and eating and drinking and having a good time. And off in the distance, we see fireworks. We see someone at their campsite is going off fireworks, and we're like, "Yo, that person's got fireworks over there. Let's go bring them a beer and chill out and watch fireworks or shoot off fireworks with them." We're like, "Oh, sweet, yeah, let's go." And so we grabbed a couple of beers and made our way over to his campsite. And we got there, and we're like, "We saw you shooting off fireworks. We wanted to bring you a beer and shoot off fireworks with you." And the guy was like, "I was just thinking, man, I wish somebody would just walk out of the woods and bring me a beer. Because I was literally just thinking that. And then you guys step out of the woods and hand me a beer. What a life.
That's pretty great.
Among other stories that came from that camping trip. Oh, man. Anyway, but that was one of the good ones, is right. So we're like, that's amazing. Because from his perspective, it was just like, he was like, no, I was just setting off fireworks. I was like, but I was wishing I had a beer. And then you guys just come right out and hand me one.
It's all, I'm the wish master.
What else could I wish for? What else can I make happen? Good times.
I wish for $1 million.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was.
Come on. Now $1 million needs to come out of the forest and just land in my lap.
Bill Gates comes walking out.
Yeah, I saw your fireworks.
I have
said,
to
that
spare
guy needs $1 million.
I figured the first light I see tonight, I'm gonna hand $1 million.
Gotta hand $1 million to. And your fireworks went off.
So
I was
here
carrying this
am.
case of really heavy dollar bills, and I decided, no, here you go. You can hold on to it and have it.
And then we'd be like, we're here already. Do you want a beer? We're bringing him. We got something to give away. What year was that? It was like 2005. Good times.
2005 was good times.
2005, 2006. It was somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I had some good times in those years. I had some fucking crazy ass times.
That was like the time to have those crazy times. It was good times. We have more news.
Wait, what?
But wait, there's more.
I don't know.
Wait.
These are the segues. We have, aside from the biggest news was basically, they had the 69 job openings. A couple of things I always want to point out. One, these are about, hey, let's go with the bottom one first. A happy birthday to 2 people of note here. We have a happy birthday to our own 2-ton Waffle, whose birthday was May 3rd.
Bah, another day, another dollar.
Yeah,
no,
I know. When you start getting older, you start like, yeah, I had a birthday, so what? Big whoop.
I don't know. I celebrate my birthday. I'm old as shit.
No, I never. Yeah.
Yeah, I celebrated my birthday working and got an email from my bosses. We're grateful that you chose today to be here with us. I'm like, I didn't choose.
F you.
I didn't choose this, jackass.
It's a Wednesday. I'm not going to take Wednesday
I didn't
off.
choose this. I have to use PTO to take off my own birthday.
I wanted to take off my birthday this year, and instead the rest of the company went to a convention, so I had to man the office. I literally it's like, son of a bitch.
But it's my birthday.
Because I generally like to party it up on my birthday. Just be like, let's drink it and have fun. Which I like to do all the time, but it's a good excuse.
Yeah, what do we got here? Oni Iwini 06. Sure.
Thank you, Vol.
Happy birthday, belatedly. And of course, another person of note in the community, Andy Bennett's birthday was May 6th.
Hell yeah.
Couldn't let that one go.
Wait, that's we could have covered the Exiles thing. We can still do that.
Of course we can.
That has Andy in it.
That was gonna be my segue.
I ruined it. I crashed your segue into a fountain.
But speaking of Andy just did for the Conan Exile's 4th anniversary, they did a video that has been voiceovered by our very own Andy. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's actually a pretty great video.
Hey, Exiles.
And we're going to show it to you right now.
This is Andy, your friendly neighborhood community goon,
Is there
welcoming
light?
you to another wild run around the sun.
Do we not get to hear Andy's
It's
voice?
2022.
You should.
I don't hear it.
Is celebrating its 4th year since official release on PC and consoles, May 8th, 2018.
I like that dog
Since
slider.
last year,
How
Isle of Sipta saw
the
its full
sensor bar
launch
stretches
following
down.
early access
That's
with a massive
that's
addition
pretty
to
great.
points of interest, camps, land
I was like, we
mass,
can't hear the
and
audio, but the
activities.
audio is playing through the stream.
Oh, is it?
Now,
Yeah.
keeping an eye out for the future, we've been growing our teams to encompass both live operations and development. We're hammering out bugs and quality of life additions, and working on improving lines of communication with our community of players, modders, and creators. A lot of the work behind the scenes this past year has been focused on one of the biggest updates Conan Exiles has ever received. you got a little taste of what's to come with the Grave Matters event from last year, and it's all coming together. But you'll have to wait just a little longer to find out exactly what we've been up to. Same, man. That's all for now, but before we go, just a few words from our lead designer.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for another year of Conan Exiles. Over the past year, I've had a great time checking out the buildings you guys make within the median set. I think those things are awesome. You're doing a great job. Good work. Keep it up. My favorite thing to do this year was tease you guys about the next update. So, for everyone that stayed with us until the end of the video, as a special treat, I'd like to introduce the next update.
No. Shut up. That part is the best. The
Is there,
tackle.
like, hidden meanings in here?
I think it's like VHS, like stock shit. The tackle, the sideways camera, running down the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, there was.
I'll say, what was? What did you find? What did you find?
Ah,
The blue screen.
that.
Play it again. Saw something in there.
Yeah, it
Something.
was,
Sigil.
yeah, it was a sigil.
Because of course they hide stuff.
Hey, Exile.
Would you expect any less?
Playback speed, 25. Yep,
Something.
there we go.
Okay.
What is that?
I don't know.
Interesting. Interesting is what it is.
Because it's not just random. Andy put that in there. Somebody put that in there.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
That is they basically said that this is hinting at what's coming next for Conan Exiles, essentially. What this is, I don't know. If you were to grab a still and run it through a Google image search, I don't know.
It's like a blood sigil of some kind.
See, I haven't played Conan Exiles, nor do I know enough about the Conan universe really to be like, oh my god, that's Phil the Barbarian. I don't know.
Phil was an asshole.
Pretty great. I like that.
I know. Fuck 'em. But of course, it wouldn't be Funcom without putting in something like that. But they're saying that basically their Grave Matters event, which was an event that they were having on their servers, which is interesting in the point that it is like an MMO's event. Oh, we'll have the Envoys of Avalon event, or we'll have something. But this is an event for a survival game, essentially, which I didn't necessarily know was really a thing per se, but they're doing one right now. They're doing a double XP and crafting event on the Conan Exile official servers. So from May 5th to May 18th, all official servers on all platforms and regions will have 2x XP and harvesting rates. So they're having another official event going on right now anyway.
Huh.
Which also speaks to the fact of if they're calling Dune an open world survival game, the same as Conan Exiles is an open world survival game.
Right.
Well, they're already revving up their methods to basically put in live events during that game. Something that you would expect to be like, oh no, it's a build. You build, you survive, you craft, you blah, 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 blah. But also could have live events similar to an MMO, essentially.
Sure.
So I figured that's that could be anything. It could just be their next content drop for the game. They could have, I don't know, whatever that blood sigil is. I don't know. We just noticed it now. So I haven't done any research on it.
It could also be just nothing. It's just random. We'll throw something in just to
It could,
it's like a red herring.
though, that does seem unlikely.
It's unlikely. It means something.
Something is there. It's there for a purpose. What that purpose is, who
They've
knows?
trained us Secret World players a little too much. We're like, no, it means something. You might not know what it means, but that doesn't mean it means nothing.
Yeah, and that was the first time I saw that video, and I noticed it. I'm like, wait, there's something there.
But it's a great video.
Oh yeah.
It's only 2 minutes. It's a great video. And finally, the last thing I have is another video in medias res. Came out with, and they posted a video on the Filth.
Okay.
Boo. Okay, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm good.
So they did the Filth lore.
And I think I'll be able to get this so you can hear it.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Oh, okay. Audio routing.
It's magic.
Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see.
Transmit.
Initiate cephalopod signal.
Receive.
Initiate cuddle ink frequency. Handle with care. Initiate the Chernobyl syntax.
Avoid contact with skin.
Initiate the eel mucus lexicon. Harmful or fatal if swallowed. Flip the ace of ruin.
Witness.
The filth. Initiate investigation protocols. New England. Fog follows an ancient weapon. Egypt. Dark water rises and cultists drink deep. Sylvania. Putrescent radiation breeds creeping fungus. Tokyo. The black signal broadcasts blasphemous algorithms, infecting all ears. Following the signal, it creeps in through the crawly cracks of 3 a.m. That weird dimension. There are thoughts that can only hatch in the human skull at 3 a.m. It is always 3 a.m. somewhere. It is happening. Right now, a woman wakes with a headache. She seeks aspirin in the bathroom. Black mold grows thick on the wall tiles. The stain forms a face. She hears a terrible howling from the sink drain. She bends to listen. When she looks up, she does not recognize the reflection in the mirror. The face in the stain smiles night after night. She listens to the howling in the pipes. It gains a curdling cadence. She hums along. She can almost sing the words. She scratches the pimples dotting her body. They swell to boils. They burst, revealing new eyes. The eyes show her unutterable truths. Soon, she sticks thumbtacks into her tongue so she can better explain these truths to the weeping children whose beds she hides under. It is always 3 a.m. in the filth. It is liquid 3 a.m. Black and dripping. Initiate diagnostic protocols. The engine's strain. Cleansing efficiency compromised. Engine 45B lost. The center cannot hold. Corrupted anima spills. Vermiculated fractals coagulate to solid geometry. The filth it transmits. It is like us, a flowing message. Crawling letters. A living meme. It is not us. It is anti-us. Anti-luminosity that crucifies sentience. It trickles down hundreds of dimensions on alien gravity. You cannot even see most of it, sweetling. How will you escape? How do you hobble through this world on 3 tiny dimensions? It flows across time. A disease floating on quantum foam. Sumerians called it the Eater. In Babylon, they named it Nurgle's Rot. Dead tongues dubbed it the Devouring Plague, the 0-point pathogen, the dark homuncul, the black worm jism. Information is a super weird substance, sometimes floating as oil, sometimes vapor, invisible waves, pollution, roiling black storms, a viral rhyme. It is the harbinger of change, the sizzling celestial syphilis. The flesh mutates, the mind boils to bilious madness, all lucid thoughts to slay. All sweetlings are fair game to the drip. But the filth pours as dark dreams directly into the heads of the insane and sadistic. Following the signal, somewhere, a trucker reads alien letters carved into the bathroom stall walls of a truck stop. He cannot look away. Pathogens in the grammar open an event horizon in his head. He spreads the scrawl in every stop on his route, carving it into the stalls. He itches and he scratches. Others see the letters. They itch. They scratch. He scratches his face, draws the runes in red with his box knife. His head blossoms into a bouquet of writhing lamprey. But the filth is only the transmitted, not the transmitter. The excremental shadow of something else. What dreamt it? What stirs and sputters and lurks as big as planets in the infinite shade between cancer cells? Have you seen them, sweetling? Have they noticed you, noticing them? Once you see the hungry sky, it sees you. All futures point to a stratosphere of tentacles.
Please consider subscribing on YouTube and following us on Twitter. It's free. Also consider buying us a coffee or becoming a Patreon patron. It's not free. All links are on our channel page. Thank you.
No lies detected.
I love how the filth was creeping up on that since Bomber. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool
Filth is a good one.
for sure. The drip effect was really good too because it had that bit about the sink. It was like that drip.
The howling in the pipes. The drip of the bathroom sink. Ooh.
What the hell was that? Hello?
That was like the next video in on Waffle's playlist or something.
Hello? Hello?
Who's there? What are we
Caller?
chopping?
Caller, are you there?
I was reading along. I pulled up the legend so I could read along to it. That's a good one. Love the freaking writing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Brings a tear to my eye.
We're all made of stars.
That creeps in through the crawly cracks of 3 a.m. There are thoughts that can only hatch in the human skull at 3 a.m. It is liquid 3 a.m. Black and dripping. Yeah. Of course, once you have kids, 3 a.m. turns itself around a little bit. You're like, what is 3 a.m.? Be like, oh, that's feeding time or something.
The Gaia engine one is pretty good too. It's really short, but I feel like it intertwines with the filth one.
Yeah. It's under the same ancient mysteries.
Yeah, so because the Gaia engine is initiate cleansing signal, initiate anima circulation, apply to affected area, initiate the slumber syntax, initiate Titan schematics, and what could be the greatest oil spill disaster in history, initiate apocalyptic energy drain, witness the Gaia engines. The engines run, but where are the builders? Warning, cleansing efficiency compromised. Engine 45B lost. The filth leaks. It flows up alien gravities. Initiate diagnostic protocols. Alert the immaculate machine. Initiate distress beacon to the host. Is anyone out there who mans the light at the end of the tunnel? So
it goes back to that 45B.
Yeah, engine 45B is lost. So one of the Gaia engines failed. Like, it's gone. So it's no longer doing its job. And the filth is now fucking going everywhere.
But 45B was the same one mentioned, right, in the filth. In the filth lore. The engine strains, cleansing efficiency compromised, engine 45B lost. So it's the same.
We sprung a leak. Now, I wonder if that could be interpreted to mean that the Tokyo bomb blew up engine 45B, right?
Could be.
If that was a thing, or if it's
like that one was one of the engines under Tokyo.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because prior to the bomb going off, it's not like there was no. I don't think it was like that there was no filth, but it wasn't readily available. Everything spikes when the event happens. That's when all of a sudden you've got a fuck ton more bees happening. You've got all these filth.
It causes the chain reaction to occur.
Yeah,
Well, it's
so
like a reaction or an infection reaction from a body sending out.
yeah.
Many times, right? We are the antibodies to the infection.
So it would follow, given those two, that maybe like Engine 45B got lost in the Tokyo event. Like it got obliterated. Or at least made to stop working.
Compromised. Yeah.
Yeah.
The center cannot hold. Corrupted anima spills. Formiculated fractals coagulate to solid geometry.
Then you also think about how in the intermediate like dreaming prison missions, how you repair stuff, and the really big one, you either repair it or destroy it depending on the wings you're going for.
Yep. You basically allow the filth through, which the filth could essentially harbor a new age.
Yeah, so it's difficult to say whether in that, because when you make your choice, they basically seem to indicate that I think that's one of the points in the game where it recognizes the fact that you're not a lone figure. Because a lot of games, like, you're the hero, everyone else is the hero, but you're all the singular hero. In Secret World, it recognizes that you're all doing this.
A collective.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of bees, and just like when you revisit what's her face in the subway, and she's like, thousands of you stampeding through my head.
He's like, yeah,
Right.
Another one. Great.
When you choose to either repair if you repair the engine, at least the one in white says like you've made a choice, but not everyone's making the same choice. So there's like an aggregate, like the system's gonna swing one way or another depending on how many of you do the correct thing, potentially.
Because it's a dream. When you go in to fix it, it's a dream.
Is it though?
But is it? Yeah.
I don't.
From the
it's
very
called
beginning, you're told to trust, but not to trust.
It's called the dreaming prison. I don't know that it's an actual dream.
But if that's the case, where we all basically it is more of a you go in and fix it, but someone else goes in and doesn't fix it. Someone goes in and breaks it. Someone else comes in and fixes it. That basically speaks of either, well, we are the one that's actually doing it, or it's just a fragment of a reality. And it turns into a
right. But if it collapses though, and more broke it than fixed it, then it's broken.
It could be like in the same way of an infection. One antibody will go after basically one virus. So in that capacity, that may have been your virus to go after. That may have been your.
Yeah, but you all did the same one.
You had one job.
You had one job.
You had one job.
You all do the same one and make a choice. So I don't know if that 100% fits. But I do feel like, given that they're extra dimensional beings, it could just be that there's
it's in that dimension.
Yeah, everyone passed to their own one, but I would imagine at the end everything collapses into one, and it's a matter of which one there was more of, which one wins out potentially. And you're either left with, oh, we fixed everything, and we essentially cleaned up the Tokyo mess and put everything back in order, or we finished breaking it and to let them out. Like, theoretically,
There's something to think. Yeah.
No, it is. Yeah, it's something to think about.
Just something to contemplate.
Bomber says, "Does anyone else see the leftover pink glow?"
Oh, no worries.
That's all right, Bomber. Yeah,
Go get some sleep.
I'll be doing the same thing shortly.
Yeah.
I've been not sleeping. This is me conversating on Filth and Gaia Engine lore, about to fall asleep. You don't want to see this when I'm actually awake. I'll be over there with Charlie on It's Always Sunny.
How much red yarn do you have?
This connects down here.
Yeah. I'm like slowly making like minor connections and being like, if it does, this is not the
Yeah, I don't see any pink particles, Bomber.
Yeah.
Just your client.
But I gotta say, just like in general for what we talked about, I'm pretty hyped for the Dune game.
I am too. I love Dune Spice Worlds. I love playing it and going through its different.
Yeah, I saw you. I rated you the other night.
Tuesday. Yeah, or the other night. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been streaming it. Very nice.
It's a fun game. I'm trying like different ways of doing like different challenges. Like last time I was doing like up the worm sign, so you're constantly having to make sure your units are off the sand.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like more worms.
And I even set the AI for easy, and I was still getting my butt kicked from the Fremen forces. They're very smart. There was like one time where I was coming in to one section of their city. They took the city, started automatically building dual or 2 missile batteries. All right, 30, 40 minutes later, I tried another way, and they did the same tactic. I'm like, come on. I'm at a stalemate. It's getting late. I'm done. But yeah, it's a fun game. And I'm actually looking forward to the rival Dune game.
It just made me think that I just need to play more Conan Exiles, really.
Oh, there was one more thing. There was one more thing. Yeah, there was actually. I think Tasha tweeted about it or retweeted it or something. 1 second. Yeah. OMFG, what a casting. So looks like Christopher Walken is going to be the Emperor for Dune 2.
Okay.
Portray Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV.
And Florence Poe is the princess. I forget her name. Aram, which is his daughter, and she chronicles everything that happens with the Mahdi spoilers, the uprising on Arrakis and Mahdi taking over and everything that happens after that fact.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, for the game? I was like, are you telling me for...
No, sorry. For Dune Part 2, the movie. Dune Part 2,
I was
movie.
like, are you telling me for the Dune game they got Christopher Walken? What?
Yeah.
You never know.
That would be pretty damn great.
I'm just like the Dune second movie is getting Christopher Walken in it because that seems pretty fucking cool.
But they could be like,
the only cure is I need more Sardaukar troops.
I was gonna say more sandworms, but okay.
Yeah.
It'll be the only thing that's coming to mind is Christopher Walken doing the Saturday Night Live. Was it the Salty Balls?
Wait,
what?
Are you thinking of? No, that was Christopher Walken, right? That was one of the balls.
Wasn't that Christopher Walken?
No.
No, right.
Balls?
It might have been.
Sweaty Balls was Baldwin.
Sweaty?
That's right. Okay, no, never mind. I just picture him saying it though.
Walken was Cowbell.
Yeah, the Blue Oyster
really
Cult.
Famous
Yeah.
For the cowbell. I'm gonna need more cowbell. Gotta have it.
It's more cowbell.
He should have done Sweaty Balls because that was a good one. No, you're right. That was Baldwin. Didn't they do more than just that one though? I don't know.
I'm sure he's done other stuff. Like he's done a lot, but I'm just saying, like Sweaty Balls was
yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of the good ones. Sorry.
Definitely.
Anyway,
It'll be if they come up with a beta sign up, or Tasha comes up with, hey, if you want interested.
But maybe they can...
I already put in. I said I'm interested for Metal Hellsinger whenever that comes out. Yeah. But she hasn't replied back, so I'm like, okay.
She's like, who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Like, son of a...
Just a small...
That's when Waffle turns around and says, do you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? Bring the full 2 tons down on...
I will own you.
He throws his weight around.
Oh, hold on, Vol.
All right. Oh, maybe they can use... Maybe if they got him doing that, maybe they could use some of his dialogue for... I don't know. Since they own the IP and who knows.
This is for you, Volmer.
That took you a long time to find.
No, because I have like different bakes I have.
That's funnier to me than the actual thing. Just
hold on.
I find the rim shot sound. Like I just want to see like a skit where someone makes a bad pun and then someone else has to set up an entire drum kit. Like 2 solid minutes watching them set up a drum kit so they can do the move it out onto the stage, drag the chair out, get off situated. What the fuck is that?
In there, 2 minutes,
that would
take
be
it
a good
off.
idea. Back in college, I was part of a theater group, and we periodically did whatever you wanted. It was like open mic, essentially, but it was people coming up with basically their own skits.
Yeah.
That would have made a good one.
Yeah, just like drag the drum seat across the floor.
Yeah, someone comes up and is like, it tells like a lame joke. And then all of a sudden, have someone get out of the audience, like, pull over a drum set.
Just like
over, brings up the things.
Screws it down.
Is everything ready? All right.
Sits there.
That's the entire skit. Be good. That's a good one.
Hey, Yemen. I found a Twitch stream of myself playing Seagirl back in 2014. Completely forgot this game existed. Wait, how did you find a Twitch stream of yourself?
YouTube.
Saved on his computer.
Yep.
Okay.
Full highlight. I don't know.
Saved when you used to stream. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Like past broadcast or whatever.
Say 2014 would have been the original.
Yep. Same. That's should be. Well, 2014 or
2014.
2015 would have been like my first streams. I was playing in 2014 for sure.
The
I'm not
2014
sure.
would have been more opening of
Tokyo, yeah.
Further Analysis, Black Signal, Love and Loathing, Last Pagan, Nightmare in the Dream Palace. That was all 2014.
I started in 2014 on TSW, but I don't know if I was streaming until it was either end of 2014 or beginning of 2015, I think, when I started actually streaming. But I was playing it in 2014 for sure. I think like June or something.
Yeah, I started when they went free to play, which was
You mean
buy to
free
play?
to play
That's
was
what I mean.
Legend?
Yeah, not free to play, buy to play. Yeah, when was that? That was 2013.
Yeah, when I did it, it was buy to play. That's how I got it. Was on a Steam sale.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was buy to play
Nightmare
for...
Dungeons.
it was
Healer with
before
the
Last
Rifle.
Train to Cairo. I know that,
Yeah,
but I think it was it after Vanishing of Tyler Freeborn. I forget.
You can play healer with a rifle in Legends. You just don't have, just not damage healer. Like in TSW, you could play leech, and which was not really something you can do in Legends.
No, yeah,
But
the
you
leech
can
healer was definitely a thing.
Yeah, you can heal with rifle. Like heal is rifle is a healing weapon. It went buy to play by late 2012.
Right in time for the end of days in December. The end of days, that's what it was. Yes.
Well, you can't leech heal, Walmart. You can heal. You can't leech heal. That's not a thing. Because leech heal is you doing damage and getting heals back for the damage you do. And that doesn't work that way anymore. They intentionally put the kibosh on that. Which I can see why. Like leech healing, just the aspect of leech healing existing breaks some stuff. It broke a lot of stuff in TSW. As much as people complained about like sustain tanking in Legends, like
AR abilities still do damage and heal.
Yeah, but
yeah.
no, but it's allocation, so like it's not the same. It's not the same thing. What I mean is in TSW, the more damage you did, the more heal you did, and that is not how it works in Legends. While you technically might do some damage potentially, your healing allocation, like you're doing more healing. Like it does not work the same way. Well, I'm not saying that you said it worked that way. I'm just saying you said leech healing, and it's more accurate to say you can heal with an assault rifle. Leech healing, as anyone from TSW understands it, is I'm doing a fuck ton of damage, and that is giving me heals. And that doesn't exist. And I literally caused people I know to leave the game, which I think is them just being pedantic. Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, why does that matter? If you're healing or you're doing damage, pick a role and do it. But don't get pissy because you can't do both and just leave the game. I find that to be absurd. But it did happen. People left because they could not specifically leech heal.
They didn't like being nerfed.
It's more like just non-existent. It's the same in the same way you can't leech. Like, you used to be able to like leech tank as well. Like you could DPS tank or like you could heal tank. Like we could sustain tank in SWL, but you couldn't heal tank. Not really. Sustain tank was a little bit different. Like you could keep yourself alive with cooldowns and maybe heal yourself some, but you couldn't heal tank like in TSW. Like you couldn't generate throw via healing. That makes sense. And in TSW, you didn't need to pop a cooldown to survive. You would take the damage and then heal it back up. Whereas in Legends, like the sustain tank meta, you had to not die. You had to not take the damage. It was more important. I'm saying like could be splitting hairs of the definition of what leech is, but I'm just saying I'm basing it on people that left the game over quote leech healing not being a thing anymore. So
yeah, I remember
that's what I'm going off of.
I remember leech healing basically being like almost one of the builds to have in.
Oh yeah.
It was like if you weren't leech healing,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it was almost like the build. I remember Sword being like super.
Sword was tank for one. I don't like the gameplay changes with free to play. I don't think there was really much gameplay changes. That's a interesting.
They went from basically a tab target to a kind of a soft target.
The reticle, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes forget that because it doesn't apply to me because I play TSW with a controller, so it worked the same for me. Like legitimately, when I played TSW and played with an Xbox controller, like I had to use the X-Patter to make it work like that. But in Legends, it just works like that anyways.
Yeah.
So for me, the actual gameplay,
felt
if
very
anything,
similar.
was smoother because I'm still doing the same thing, but I don't have to tab to hit what's in front of me, which for me was the left shoulder button on the controller. So it's one less button for me to tap, but the way I play it, the movement and all that is exactly the same.
Okay.
So
but it was that, and they also I remember Secret World Legends. One of the biggest things that, or not Secret World Legends, in TSW, one of the biggest complaints was always the time to kill ratio. People were like, it takes way too long to kill anything. And they fixed that with Secret World Legends. They made the time to kill was significantly reduced.
Well, okay, so I'm going to say some of that varied on your experience and build.
Yeah.
Because the time to kill was so high, people didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
And because there's, quote, no levels, even though that was not true.
It was not true. There were levels.
Under the thing, you would be fighting things you probably shouldn't be, and you're just chipping away at. But you can, like, depending on your build, at least you could stay alive, and you're just chipping at shit for fucking ever. Or the other thing, which again is a gameplay thing, is you're not afflicting. This monster doesn't take damage very well unless you afflict it. But if you don't read that little pop-up,
you don't read the little text over the little
on
icon.
His health bar, that you would have to stop fighting to let him hit you while you go read it. You wouldn't know that, oh, if I afflict him, then now I'm going to do more damage and strip his barrier, and now I'm going to beat the crap out of him. So, like, that would take an enemy from taking you, like, 5 minutes to kill to 5 seconds to kill if you just read the thing and applied the right debuff. And they did remove a lot of those in Legends. They just straight up were like,
of them, yeah.
They're like, yeah, we don't need to do that. And now those still exist for certain bosses, but most of the generic open world guys don't have that shit anymore, I believe. Famous quote, suck less. But legitimately, Legends added the fact that you can see the levels, and you can realize that I'm 2 streets over and things are 3 levels higher than me, so maybe I'm not going to spend 10 minutes fighting this. Whereas in TSW, you didn't know. There's nothing that tells you that you're in an area that's slightly higher level. Now, if you go to a nightmare area, you're in there because they hit you once and you die. And you're like, all right, well, obviously this is wrong.
Or you try to hit them and do, like, absolutely nothing.
Yeah. But if you're in, like, a median area, you would have no idea how far off you are from their level. Not only that, TSW was really bad about just letting you make the shittiest build possible. And because I probably made, like a dozen characters in TSW easily. And, like, I would get to the point where I could, like, make a character. Oh, and by the way, of different builds, not just, like, always the same build to go.
Right.
Like, it just got to the point where I could be like, I'm going to make this character pistol sword for pirate. Or I'm going to go LE this for something else. And, like, I would start and know exactly what to get. Exactly where to put my points. And just come out the gate kicking ass. Which you just couldn't do. Then nothing told you how to do that. It's something you learned painstakingly over time. And lots of sunken hours of spending a lot of time killing things.
Yeah. I was like, I'm interested in changes over the last 8 years. I remember there being a zone after the desert, which was really hard. Oh,
wow, there's a lot after. Holy shit, dude. You're missing like hundreds of hours of content.
If you're missing like one of the best zones in the entire game. Like after Scorched Desert, there's City of the Sun God, which might be more desert, which could be referring to Transylvania, just the entire zone of Transylvania,
which is 3 maps,
which is an extra 3 maps. Then Tokyo,
which is another map.
I would even call Tokyo to 2 maps because of how they really like. There's northern Tokyo and southern Tokyo.
It's one big map. It's very jam packed.
Tokyo is phenomenal. Tokyo is one of my favorite zones out of any MMO ever. Yeah.
And then you have South Africa.
Then South Africa.
Yeah, Transylvania is, again, like, people hit different roadblocks in the original game where, like, their builds stopped working because they didn't know how they worked, especially, or didn't know what they were facing. Transylvania was one of the ones. That's where I hit my first, not my first, but it's where I hit, like, the massive block of, like, where I because I didn't know that I shouldn't be all Tank Talisman's Pistol Blood when I was playing, and I got all the way into Transylvania like that, which is absurd that I even made it that far. But Transylvania really, like, I was spending like 15 minutes fighting a single vampire before killing it. And, like, I'm not even joking, just like running circles and shit. Like, it was ridiculous. And eventually I like looked up enough stuff and read enough stuff that shit clicked, and I realized what I was doing wrong, and I fixed it.
Pennsylvania also had like there was some normal, there were some normal. There were some basic quests in there.
Mobs. It had regular mobs that had things on them you had to.
Right, and then the nightmare mobs.
Yeah, but you should avoid those though.
Yeah.
Ideally, you avoid those, but the regular mobs in TSW would have an icon on them if you bothered to stop playing the game, let the thing try and kill you while you try to read it, which is my biggest problem, by the way, with TSW, is that there is no way other than sacrificing your body, like your life, to actually read the thing. It's a debuff over his health bar. If I return to the game as which character is leveling and gameplay viable or potential roadblocks, it's way more viable than
it's 100% viable now.
Yeah, like it's pretty hard to. It's not impossible, but it's pretty hard to make a build that's non-functional. I've helped people that made it into Tokyo and started having problems, but even in Tokyo, they were still like surviving. It was a little bit harder than they thought it should be, and correctly so. They had some stuff wrong. But it's really difficult to make a build so bad that you can't like beat the game with it. Like, to
participate in like nightmare content now, or to participate in higher E levels of content, you're gonna need to buff up your.
Yeah, but in the process of doing that, you should learn, because it takes you time to get there.
Yeah. But as far as like leveling through the content and playing all the story now, nah.
It's because the ability system, like the tutorial and the way it starts you out, puts you like on a path. So unless you just go rogue, even if you go rogue completely, it's really hard. I beat the game. I did a playthrough. I did an offhand only playthrough where I played the entire game without a main weapon at all, and just the weapon in my offhand, which means I had no basic weapon. And
you also beat the game only with one IP.
Yeah, with one item power.
Power.
0 talismans and level 1 green weapons. Like, it takes work. I'm not saying that you can steamroll the whole game and then everything's going to be easy.
Yeah.
It takes work to do something, and planning to something like a 1 IP run. The offhand run is really just knowing how shit works. And how to
but if you play with all the systems that they have enabled and you level up
here, it's really hard. It's really hard to make the game not playable. Good night, Bomber.
Good night, Bomber.
Yeah. And if you are curious about trying to spin off 1904 Black Watchman, I think I have one of the 1904's things, because I backed the Kickstarter stuff for it.
Yeah, I know I have.
Bomber can't stop from typing.
I did. Say no.
I like the Serrano for Moons of Madness thing, honestly. That was really cool.
Say I own 19.4. I don't think
and Black Watchman I think I backed as well. I don't know about the Unrayo. Oh, I was gonna say, if you
I do own the Black Watchman. Okay.
If you need or are interested in builds, I do have some builds on my website.
And I also own I own all of them. Look at that. Oh,
let me get the build link.
They are hard, or I'm a baddie. They're hard. They're supposed to be hard.
Yeah, the ARGs are pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And so if you end up wanting like some more like mid to end game builds, or just want to see what some of those might look like, I'm pretty much the only source of builds like post the major rebalance that happened. There are builds before that, but not really since then. So
I got accused by a Ceruleana. I didn't even see that. Oh.
So if you want to see what some Legends builds would look like,
I usually play a tank. It's a good time to play a tank now, because they introduced a new system called the Anima Allocation System.
Yes.
Which means that basically you could have a tank build, and only bring in the tank aspect when you want to bring in the tank aspect, and otherwise
So
keep
Waffle
it as
can
damage.
show it on the screen. It's anima, not
Anima.
So
Anima allocation.
I don't think you want that.
Waffle, can you bring up your gear? Like the
Is it going to cause a lot of problems?
We know.
I know.
We know.
I'm saying gear, but move it over to the left.
And yet it still surprised me.
Move it over, and then bring up the thing so we can see your gear and the allocation at the same time. So if you put your mouse over, if you put your mouse over your head talisman, you can show them what your stats are on your head talisman, right? Or the head, do the head one. So you've got like your attack rating and your protection, and then if you slide it down to tank, the allocation down to tank, allocation. Good lord, man. Yeah, just slide it and hit commit, and then you can show them the stat difference. So you can change your talisman's stats when you're out of combat. So
whenever you want, out of combat, whenever you want,
and in any kind of mixture between tank, DPS, and heal. Whereas in TSW, you would have like tank talismans and heal talismans and DPS talismans. In Legends, you have talismans, and then you can change your allocation at any time, and it changes the stats on the talisman to be a combination of tank, DPS, and heal stats. So you can go all tank, you can go like 60-40. You can
if something's not working, if you're like, man, I just threw myself up against that boss, but you're at 100% damage, you could be like, okay, no, I'm going to give myself some more survivability. I'm going to go 80-20. I'm going to do 80 damage, 20 survivability. Or
yeah, like 90-10. Or if you're mainly tanking, but you want to do some damage, you can go 60 tank, 40 DPS, 70 tank, 30 DPS.
And there's some skills that work entirely different as to whether your allocation is more in survivability than damage.
Yeah. The tank and heal skills or abilities have a 51% requirement. So like the tank abilities won't trigger the tank effect like aggro generation unless you have 51% or better tank. And the heal, you actually have double the energy bar if you're 51% heal rating or better. You'll go from 15 energy to 30 and spam more heals. The anima allocation is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a game, period.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest cool things they did in Legends was be like, you know what, you don't need 5 sets of gear.
No, you can use the same gear and just switch over to damage if you want. If you just want to DPS.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. It basically makes every weapon a DPS weapon. Now, some will still be more effective than others.
Yeah, you still have tank weapons that have tank abilities, for example. But you can do tank weapons and just allocate to DPS and go damage shit. Go play through the open world. Even be a damage dealer in a dungeon group if they already have a tank. And when it's your turn to tank, you just swap it down to the tank allocation. No, it's such a fucking nice system. It's like what actually has existed since before the rebalance, but in the rebalance, it's to my opinion, it was even better. Because prior, tank abilities would have aggro generation on them. So if a DPS player was like running shotgun and happened to use a aggro generating shotgun ability because it's a tank weapon, then you gotta yell at them, stop doing that. That's the reason you're dying. You're pulling the boss with your aggro ability you're using. Knock it off. Whereas now, that ability doesn't have aggro inherent in it.
Doesn't have, right, it doesn't do...
It's only if your allocation is 51% or better do you start even generating aggro. There's a small holdout of people that still play the classic one. You can't, I don't legally buy it anymore. No events run on it. No Christmas, Halloween, anniversary, anything like that.
I guess it's similar to people playing like World of Warcraft Classic or something like that. Like,
I would say less. It's even
but less, yeah.
Because World of Warcraft Classic came back because of demand. Like it didn't exist before.
Right.
This is different. It's like technically there. It's just not. It's not shut off. But you can't. You already had it, so you should still have an account that would let you access it. How you do that is you just get the config file from the launcher and basically you point it at the other one and patch the game because 90% of the resources it uses are the same. So like you can patch back and forth between Classic and Legends. It takes I think like 13 gigs of difference, something like that. depending on your connection, that your time may vary. It doesn't take me very long to patch between them. I want to say it's something like 13 gigs of difference. But yeah, you can patch technically back and forth if you have a TSW account to log into. I haven't gone there since I finished my last transfer. The performance issues are far worse. That's the big, in my opinion, that's the biggest thing. Like whether you like the ability system or, I don't know. I was, to me, that was never core to the game. The core to the game is the story, and the story progressed in Legends. So that's what I give a shit about. Some people like just really snorting that ability wheel cocaine for some reason. Like it was an interesting idea.
They're beholden to the PvP, like all those maps and stuff like that.
No, I've seen single player people. I've seen people who just. And the weirdest part to me about that is like they only play in Kingsmith. They make new characters and play in Kingsmith and unlock abilities slowly in ability wheel, and then we'll delete that character and do it again, and then they never leave Kingsmith in Classic. I'm just like, I don't understand you, man. I don't know what you're doing, but okay. I'm not going to shit on someone for having a good time, but yeah, it seems weird to me. Like if I was going to go back and play it, I'd play the whole thing, but they just dick around in Kingsmith. The ones I've seen.
I just really like New England, man.
Yeah, it's like how Legends New England different. It's not like, oh, but I can use the ability wheel. Okay,
all right.
Congratulations. You want a cookie?
Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to shit on the ability wheel. It was an interesting idea. It was an interesting experiment at the time. But I think thinking that it's amazing
is the best game since sliced bread.
Like the anime allocation is amazing. That's something I hadn't seen before. And every time I've shown that to someone, every time I've shown the anime allocation and explained how it worked, everyone that's seen that has been like, whoa. That they're like, I want that in this other game that I play. Yeah. Like everyone's that's fucking cool. That is an interesting.
You tell me I can use my tank gear as DPS every other time because
heal?
MMOs, or my healing gear. Like I could go out and I can heal in dungeons, but then my healing gear can still do DPS when I'm just like by myself in the world. Because MMOs are essentially two different games at their heart. They are the kind of like the solo zones and then the multiplayer dungeon content.
Yeah. I like that. Typing that I wish WoW had, but then did not. Yeah, I every time I've shown that, like that to me is like fucking inspired. That's really cool. The ability wheel was an interesting way to look at abilities. Like you put it in a circle.
Yeah.
But because of its design, it was like the inner and outer rings unlocking and all that. But because of its design, it necessitated like everything. It does necessitate a certain amount of weapons and then a certain amount of abilities, and you just had to fill them. So I ended up with a lot of duplication and a lot of this is going to do the same thing as these other things. Or I don't know, we've got 3 slots to fill. Let's put something here. And even the developers were like, yeah, there was a lot of filler in there.
Yeah, that's the thing about now it's the tabs. Now it's the weapon tabs. And
and you have the lines. And so, okay, put it this way. It hasn't happened, but they plan on adding weapons to Legends. But to add weapons to Legends, all you've got to do is you just put another little picture on the side. You're in there. Under the assault rifle, you would just put another little picture. Boom, whole another weapon tree, whole other set of abilities, no problem. If you want to add a weapon in TSW after it was released to the ability wheel, how the fuck do you do that? You can't.
You have to take every ability and make it much smaller on the wheel so you could fit in.
You'd have to redesign the whole thing to somehow cram weapons.
What you do is you make it into an oblong egg shape.
And they initially basically said that. They initially were like, this system is actually much easier for us to add shit to. They never actually did. But
they didn't add any new weapons other than what's there, but it was on the docket, and you could certainly see how
it's possible.
It's 1 billion times easier than it would be on the wheel.
And if the game was a lot more successful than it was, we'd probably have a whole bunch more weapons now because it would be like, oh, we're releasing this expansion, and this expansion is going to come with more weapons, and it's going to be this zone and that zone and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, what are you going to do?
We didn't get there.
But we are approaching the 10-year anniversary.
We are. That is true.
It's like literally what, like a month and a half away or something.
Oh, and this is a complete 10-year anniversary of Secret World
As
again.
a whole, yeah, that's what I mean. That counts, dude. That counts.
It does, yeah. It reminded me. It was like, wait, what about the Johnny Depp trial? How's that going? Is it?
Oh, because he's got the TV rights.
Because Johnny Depp has the TV rights to Secret World.
I don't know how much we want to get into that at 12:30.
Like, I haven't been paying attention to that. All I know is that
he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's sort of like he's a little more vindicated than he used to be.
Oh, he's a lot vindicated than he used to be.
Yeah,
that bitch is crazy.
Because basically he was like, oh, we announced that Johnny Depp was going to his TV company he bought the rights for Secret World to make a Secret World TV show.
Yeah, his company did purchase the TV rights. So like he doesn't own the IP. Funcom owns Secret World. So it's not like Johnny Depp purchased Secret World, the game. But he did purchase the rights for the TV show to use it to license it for the TV show. That did happen. That's a thing. You could look it up on IMDb, I believe, somewhere.
But then a whole bunch of stuff went down with him, and his favor curtailed, and we never really heard anything else about it. So
yeah, maybe he'll finally get out of that goddamn shit show.
Yeah,
and be able to do stuff again.
Who knows?
I would say it's looking. Court of public opinion wise, at least, he's in a much better light. And I think it's likely the thing is defamation cases have a really high bar.
Yeah.
Like you could believe him that he's saying you can believe him and he still could not rise to meet the level of proving defamation. Yeah, it's very, especially when you're a celebrity too. Like proving defamation is like the willful malice and all that stuff. Like it's pretty. The thing is though, because I've been following just in the last week. There's a bunch of lawyers like to have. One of them's virtual legality. He does a lot of gaming stuff, so I've followed him for a while. But a bunch of lawyers have coalesced into LawTube, and they've been covering aspects of it together and on their own streams. And it's been very interesting. I love watching lawyers talk about stuff. It's very intelligent and nuanced conversations. Because they know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
They know how the law works, and it's not like some CNN reporters watch snippets. Amber's proving defamation for him. Yeah, dude, she is something else. She's her own worst enemy on the stand for sure.
Yeah, my wife's been paying attention to some stuff, and she's it's yeah.
And then you see her deposition from her other shit back in, I forget what year it was, because she was married, I guess. She had a female partner, like life partner.
Yeah, it was like 2009.
Okay.
And she had a DV case brought against her then for that partner.
Well, she was arrested for
she was arrested for
domestic abuse.
And so the deposition for that, she's nasty in that deposition video. Like, holy shit. Like in this thing, she's trying to be much more like appealing, and her stories don't make a lick of sense, and a lot of her testimony like contradicts itself. But if you look at her deposition from the other one years ago, like the attitude difference, like she's not putting on anything in that one. She's just like practically attacking people.
Yeah. Do you know who I am?
Like it's like the shift is very clear. But yeah, I don't know. So they're on a break week, so we'll see what happens next week. I think, in my opinion, even on the off chance that he doesn't prove the defamation, I think
in the court of public opinion, he's probably.
Yeah, they've seen enough, not just from him, but from her own like therapist, like her own therapist was like, she abused him. Now, she might have been saying that they both abused each other at some point. I'm not sure. But regardless, he's got a much better public outlook than he did before it, for sure. And then there's like audio tapes. Jesus Christ. Some of those audio tapes. Like, I think there's a lot of lawyers don't think they think the transcripts of the old deposition will probably come into play, because she contradicts herself now about stuff that happened then. So they'll probably get that on cross, but they don't think the video will come in, just the transcripts. But the video's kind of important because it shows her demeanor about those events. So I don't know, there's some speculation on whether everyone thinks that the yield deposition will come into play, but they think the video itself might not come in. But the video itself would definitely help. If the jury saw the video, tone and demeanor, and it makes a big difference. But oh yeah, okay. So real quick, there was a brand new like law member of that group, that coalition of lawyers they call themselves a law.
Okay.
And there's a lawyer they know, and he actually practices in Virginia, which is where the case is taking place. And so he obviously knows a lot about Virginia law. He has to practice it, but he also does lumber, like he does woodworking.
Okay.
Like that's his passion on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's a thing in the case about where supposedly he broke part of their bed while assaulting her or something, and they have a picture of the broken bed. And he was talking with one of the other lawyers that has a YouTube channel about his views on that. And she's, you got to make a video. You got to make a video explaining your take on this. And so he did. And he has a YouTube channel with one video, that video he made. And it like immediately fucking blew up. Like in the not even 24 hours, they had like 100,000 views. Last I saw, it was approaching 500,000. Like he got monetized in under 24 hours. It's fucking just boom, like crazy. But it's like, I watched the whole thing too. It's like a 20-minute video, but it's really good because it's on what kind of lumber that is, how wood works, like physically how it functions, how that particular type of wood functions, how trees work in general, and why what she's saying is not physically possible. And the only way to do that particular type of damage is to take like a sharp object like a knife or chisel or something and take it into the end and pop it out. And he shows it and he explains. And yeah, like I believe I've encountered the same thing. Like certain types of wood, like you'll just dent them. You won't chip them, you'll dent them.
Because wood is essentially, trees are essentially giant series of tubes.
Yeah, so like
you
if it gets impact, it's just gonna squish in. You have to put something sharp in between the tubes to like pry it out.
Yeah, that's why an axe, you have to set it up so that the wood is in a certain, it has to be standing up, and then the axe will just go right through it and chop it down into the two parts. But if you put it on its side and tried it that way, you end up with an entirely different sort of cut going on, because right, all a tree is on the inside is essentially
straws.
It's giant straws, because it's a system to get the water up into the leaf.
Exactly.
And so it's basically one giant system of tubes. And so
it does. So his
trees
video
are pretty
on that, and their bed frame is like big chunky like timbers. And supposedly this is great, like her words were like, he put his foot there for purchase. The fuck says that? He was holding me down and beating me, and he put his foot on the bed for purchase.
Like for leverage, really, is what she means.
Well,
yeah.
But who the fuck says that? She called like parquet flooring parakeet flooring, but she says the word purchase when he puts his foot on the bed. Dude, that doesn't match. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she speaks like someone with a lexicon to say the word purchase.
To say the word for purchase? Okay.
Yeah,
I would. I know what purchase means.
But I'm saying, context. Like, you also wouldn't say parakeet flooring repeatedly.
No. No.
So it just smacks of like a rehearsed or read thing and not an actual, this is what I'm remembering happening. But anyways, in the picture, there's the break that clearly could not come from what she's saying it came from.
Like it would have to basically be a metal or some sort of, yeah.
And in the picture on the bed, there's a weird object that looks a lot like some kind of like pocket knife or something. Like it's a little fuzzy, but there's definitely like on the bed in the picture, like what looks a lot could be a pocket knife that would be used to do that. It's like, who leaves that in the picture?
No, yeah, like I said, I took physics classes, and no, the physics of wood is actually fairly interesting.
Yeah,
when you get into it.
So he's a lawyer and a woodworker, and he was like, this doesn't make sense. This is not correct. Like you have perjured yourself. This is not right. And he made a video explaining why and showing it, and it's a cool video. And it like got fucking just traction everywhere. He's fucking blown up inside of a day, which is fucking awesome for him. All the other YouTuber lawyers are like, took me 5 years to hit 100,000 views on anything, but congratulations to you. And then they mentioned his video like in an article in The Guardian or something.
Okay.
Like, he's just it's getting out there. But yeah, I don't know. That whole thing is pretty interesting. And to tie it back into Secret World, it is very advantageous for us as Secret World fans if things do go well for him, because then maybe someday money gets funneled back into that project. And
it might be like, you know what? Like the idea of an entire, basically a world, a universe. I might not call it a universe, but whatever. But a universe based on one spooky Lovecraftian shit.
Yeah.
That's always popular. Two, one that's based on nothing but conspiracies, and conspiracies being true, or spooky urban legends always being true.
And essentially some form of superhero powers.
Yeah, right, and a superhero motif on top of that. Listen, this is why we're very excited about the tabletop game. This is why we're very excited about whatever, because it just works. It's stuff that people like.
The Kickstarter for that's supposed to happen like this end of this year or something?
Fourth quarter, yeah. I think this is fourth quarter 2022. But generally when people think of Secret World, they're like, oh, that's the zombie game, because you initially go through Kingsman.
Because you don't make it out of Kingsman.
But it's like, oh, that's the game with the zombies, and it's dude. No, it's a little more than that.
There were special events.
You could also be like, oh, it's a game with the vampires, the Cold War Russian vampires, or the werewolves that have, like, it's like, sure, it has them. It's also the game with the Yetis and the this and the that. It's got all of them, and you can fucking do.
I've always liked to explain it as like a Lovecraft, like a much more Lovecraftian supernatural.
Yeah.
Because Supernatural kind of did the whole like all myths, legends kind of thing to a certain extent. Just wrap that with more Lovecraft.
I remember there were special events. Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. The answer is yes. So the next stuff that coming up will be the anniversary, actually.
The anniversary event will be in June. Yep.
The anniversary will definitely have...
generally near the end of June, but yeah.
That'll have hourly bosses off of a portal in Agartha, and it'll have... the anniversary should have the Hatekeeper raid too, right? I believe.
It'll be the 5th anniversary of Secret World Legends, but the overall 10th anniversary of Secret
World.
Which actually would be TSW released in early July. But depending upon when it starts, it will probably go through early July. So it'll start late June as being the 5th anniversary of Secret World, but being the 10th, or the 5th anniversary of Secret World Legends, but being the 10th anniversary of Secret World overall. Are they going to do something for that? Who knows? I don't know.
They'll do the anniversary event for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the anniversary event's going to go on.
I don't know if they'll do something like extra on top of the normal anniversary stuff, but they'll definitely do the anniversary event. That will happen. There's also, what is there? There is.
Oh, just in general? There's it's anniversary. Then another Envoys of Avalon.
Right. What is Equinox? Equinox is twice a year, right? Yeah. Anniversary, second Equinox,
Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and that's about it. That's
I think the next Equinox. The spring Equinox. But all of those have extra stuff. And the Valentine's one has stuff that was never in TSW at all. Christmas has some stuff that was never in TSW at all.
We wish Halloween had more.
Yeah, we wish Halloween had more. It is slightly different than what
it's slightly different. It's slightly different. They did bring back, what's it called? The radio.
Oh, the broadcast. Yeah, look at the broadcast. Yeah. Yeah, I mean so anyways, definitely events. So those events only happen in Legends. Those do not happen in the original game. If you were to go into Classic, you can play Classic. It's technically on, but it is not maintained. There's no events being run on it. So if you want your seasonal events, you got to be in Legends.
Saying if the pattern holds, it will be June 25th. If the pattern holds. Well, June 25th is a Saturday, so they're not going to do it on a Saturday.
No, they'll do it on a Friday.
They'll do it on a Friday.
It's possible.
They've been known to start events on a Friday. Just why not?
Just because.
So I would say, looking at a calendar, I would say either June 23rd or 24th. But hell, it could be the 22nd, 23rd, or 24th.
Runes of Madness is definitely worth buying.
Yeah, especially if you played Secret World. Holy shit.
It is part of the IP. It is set, I think we figured out, 50 years in the future? I want to say we determined. And there's lots of, you can play Moons without knowing Secret World, but holy shit, there's so much more to get from it if you play Secret World.
Oh yeah.
And it's on its own, it's an entertaining game, but it's got like multiple more tiers depending on how much Secret World you've played.
I can't even imagine really. Here's the weird thing about Moons of Madness is I can't even really imagine really enjoying it to any real appreciable degree without playing Secret World. Like just playing it with Secret World, holy shit.
That's just because you only have the one side of the experience.
I know. I'm biased. Yeah.
And what I mean by that is so do I, but I've watched streamers play it that didn't play Secret World, and seeing them go through it, like they totally enjoy the game. They literally don't know what they're missing.
Yeah.
So
they're like, oh man, this is just a cool Lovecraftian story, and you're like, yeah, but no.
So they'll, and that's the thing though, because it's Lovecraftian and crazy, you can see these weird things, and you just think that's weird Lovecraftian shit. You're played Secret World, you're like, that's Lovecraftian shit I know about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's specific Lovecraftian shit.
Yeah, you're like, I recognize that from this thing, or I know this from there, or this ties into this other thing. Like there's so much. It's a love letter to Secret World players, in my opinion. And then thanks to Scrivenermancer for that. It really is. Like, it's done so beautifully that there is nothing. I didn't see anyone playing it that never played Secret World that got to something and was like, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what this is. They thoroughly enjoy the experience, but if you played Secret World, the richness of it is so much better. Or not even better, like in addition. It doesn't detract. Not knowing about it doesn't detract. There's an invisible cherry that you have to play Secret World to see the cherry on top. Yeah, I highly recommend Moons of Madness. Super fun.
Yeah. And of course the park.
Yeah, I think the park is more.
I don't think you necessarily need to play Secret World enough to get much out of the park. You would get more out of it just from Secret World, but the amount of Secret World that's in the park is relatively less than it is in Moons of Madness. In Moons of Madness, it's just everywhere.
Other than the three I mentioned and Moons, there's the park and Hide and Shriek would be the other ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Or a place to quickly find them.
Steam, yeah.
They're all on Steam.
Yeah, the park is, if you played Secret World, you would know the theme park in Savage Coast. So the park is a game about the park, and basically a little bit of origin to the park.
Yeah, or Atlantic Island. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Hide and Shriek is.
It meant more in TSW when you also had the companion mission to go along with it, but.
True. There was a companion mission in TSW that connected the park more directly, but even without that, I think it sets up like history of the park. So if you love the park in Secret World, then 100% you should pick up the park. It's not very much, I don't think.
Oh God, no! They're cheap now.
And Hide and Shriek is a multiplayer game, but it's pretty cool. You're like a student in one of the schools, either the one that's in Savage Coast, which is
the Academy.
Yeah, is that Innsmouth Academy? Right?
Yeah. Or Little Springs High School.
Little Springs is the rival school. And so you're basically like the other players and their student, and you're both invisible, and you go around the school grabbing items and stuff and trying to scare the other person. So you have to find them while you're both invisible. You find the other person and spook them with your spook meter. It's a really fun game, but there's also lore you can find, like little lore pages you can collect in that game that give history of the Secret World, like more, just add more.
They look to be a little pricey right now. Moons of Madness is $25 and the park is $13. They go on sale very often though.
I mean, I don't consider either of those terribly pricey, but okay.
Also, comparing what they are and how long.
I would pay $25 for Moons. I think that's Moons is a lot longer than the park.
Yeah, for the park, it'd be $13 is average, or is a good price. Yeah.
It's not
also
definitely...
Cyrano Story is also still on Steam too. Yeah.
Cyrano. Okay, so if you like or even have an interest in the ARG ones, the Cyrano Story is like the 1904 stuff. I think it's a little bit easier, maybe.
It's made by the same people, Allison Smith, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a prequel to Moons. So you can play that. It originally was on the web, like prior to Moons of Madness coming out, like leading up to the release. And then they eventually released it as like a all-together game on Steam.
That's free. Yeah.
And that's free. And that was really fun. There's also, you can also Google, there's like hint pages and help with solving those. I solved a bunch of those myself. They're really cool though.
Yeah.
Like
it's like an investigation mission. It's except for
was,
near the end when it got a little, you need more people than just you to solve some of the stuff. But
yeah, some of it towards the very end got a little bit more complicated, I think.
But I think they also changed that for the Steam. So
release.
Yeah. Like on Steam, they released it, so it's on Steam. But I think that they took out like the huge.
Yeah, Hide and Shriek is free, and Serrano is free. Yep.
Yeah, Hide and Shriek is free.
Hide and Shriek's fun. You'll see people playing that around Halloween time, like just random people. By the way, I remember seeing like some huge Korean streamer just playing Hide and Shriek like in Halloween, and they have no connection to Secret World or anything. It's just a free, and it's really fun. Like a really fun.
It's interesting.
Game.
It's an interesting PvP.
So definitely, okay. I will tell you this: I bought at the time. I had to buy it. It wasn't very much. It was like maybe like $6-8 or something.
It wasn't that much to start. Yeah.
Get Park and Moons of package.
There's a Funcom horror bundle that is Moons of Madness and the Park. Yeah.
So I bought 2 copies of Hide and Shriek when it came out, so I could play myself and go get all the lore pages. Because it was easier to do that than, because it's hard to look for lore pages while you're fighting someone else, and that annoyed me. I wanted all the lore pages, so I just bought a second copy on a separate Steam account and then played myself, and then went and found all the lore pages. Because you can only get 1 page per game, I believe it is.
And you have to find them in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to find them, so they have to spawn in the one you're in. So it took a bunch of trying for me to find all of them. So yeah, I like bought 2 of it and played myself to get the lore. 100% worth it for all the cool lore stories in there. We had a little mini Hide and Shriek contest not that long ago.
And gave out a nice little trophy for it and everything.
Yeah.
Which hopefully we'll be doing again. Hopefully, coming up next Halloween. We'll also do
what?
I just thought this Halloween I'm not going to be around. Yeah, we'll do it around Halloween anyway.
It was nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Didn't realize you'd planned your death for Halloween, but I guess.
Man, you even got it on schedule. Jeez.
I'll be gone.
I won't be around anymore.
For at least
Goodbye,
a good week,
cruel
I'll be
world.
in Florida. I'll be by you. I'll be down in your neck of the woods.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
You can just stream from down there. It's
That's
totally
right.
fine.
And that will include, Halloween night. It'll be, so it goes.
Halloween in Florida does sound pretty scary.
Yeah.
Every day is scary down here.
It's its own scariness.
Halloween brings out a different kind of scary.
The question is it better or worse?
Okay, is this a meth head that isn't a mask, or is it just someone?
It's just more understandable, is what it is. It's like, all right, I can understand people in costume being scared. I can understand that.
Is this a meth head mask or an actual meth head?
Or is this bath salts? You never know.
I got my own cat here too.
There you go. That's Tiny Cat.
Oh, she's
Well,
fine.
I think there's some perspective.
There's, obviously, yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's mini collectible.
I feel like your cat's only 2 inches tall. What the heck, man?
Pocket.
It's a tiny cat.
Jesus.
All right. As mine decided to give up on torturing me for the night. And she's like, "You're talking to somebody. You're talking to somebody. I will bother you." All right. So if that's all, I think that's good.
Yeah.
It's almost 1
Yeah.
a.m. So we should crash.
I think we
Agents, this has been the 0 Point Report, strain 63-69J. You can catch the
Nice.
recording live every other Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on the 0 Point Report Twitch channel, where you can also join us and chat with us while we do the show live, or download our show wherever podcasts are found so you can listen to us on the go. Jimmy, where can we find you online?
JimmyTheRabbit.com, twitch.tv/JimmyTheRabbit, youtube.com/JimmyTheRabbit, and @1JimmyTheRabbit on Twitter.
Nice, dude. 2 Ton Waffle, where can we find you?
TwoToneWaffle.com and here on Twitch and Twitter. It's the same name throughout.
Yes. Good way to keep it.
Yeah.
And I'm Ocho, and you can find me both on Twitter and here on Twitch at Big Mikey Ocho. You can get in touch with us by engaging with the show on Twitter at 0 Point Report, checking out previous shows on our YouTube channel, and joining us on our Discord server, both named the 0 Point Report, surprisingly. From all of us here at the 0 Point Report, I want to thank you for tuning in.
Guys. Thanks for rubbing in that I don't have the same name on Twitter. Jackasses.
You will find him and you will murder
Oh,
him.
hold on.
What? Huh?
What? It takes you so long
Yeah,
to
to
find
pull
one
up
of
the-
those things.
Pull up the drums. Find the horn in the
Jesus
closet.
Christ.
We want to thank you for tuning in and wish you all the best from the secret world. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.